Come on, like, I am really looking forward to that, man. I've never been live to a fight club. That's not one of the kind of things that I do in my life. But I would love to see some fights today. From the experiences that we have had in these 2 days of play-ins, there's got to be a very fast time, like a really quick pace. A lot of fights, everybody wants to just really come in already swinging as the time goes in.
You're talking about pace? This is the perfect place. I mean, in the sense of a best of 3, now is the time. If you want to shake things up, you want a surprise, you can do it best in a best of 3.
And for specifically me and this coming these 2 teams, right, for Titan Esports Club and also Aurora Gaming, if there is a featured matchup here, I think it heavily goes into the mid lane here.
Yeah. I think that all eyes will be on that one. You're looking at two very different sides of this coin, right? You're talking about Jihong. He's, absolutely, he's still like KIC champion 2025, bringing that experience over into this team. Then you're looking at the other side, Katsu. He's a rookie, right? The first time he's been showed up in the PKL, and look at what he's on. He's playing on the international stage.
But it's going to be like a 2 battle of philosophy, right? Is it going to be calm, collected, cool on the control mages that Zihong is so good at? I've heard from some of the players that's been commenting on Zihong as this player here. He's the central core of Aurora Gaming, and his mid lane, especially that Lorien pick, will be the most nastiest one out of all the players here.
I'm looking forward to that. I think that that's something that, we haven't really seen too much. I mean, if he's scrimming with it and he's kind of showing off with it, but I think that you can give him almost any mid and he's able to have a large amount of success because, again, all roads, in my opinion, this team revolves around Jihong's play.
It's just the playstyle coming in as a whole here. So for Titan Esports Club, first thing to disrupt is the pick and ban phase here. Bring something that's unconventional or hidden, your pocket pick, so you can disrupt the flow of Aurora Gaming here. They've seen it all. So if you can disrupt that expectation, maybe you get a competitive edge going into this game 1 as we start off the BP, Mai Shiranui, Diadia, Pei, Zhangfei locked away. And we talked about the Lorien here that has been amazing in play-ins. Immediately, first pick by TEC.
Yeah, it's had a lot of good play, right? And I think that most teams are kind of arrowing in on just how much, it provides a lot of damage, it has control, it has everything that you want, that you're looking for in terms of a mid. Plus, it's in, dare I say, probably one of its finer forms right now. And being able to pick that one first will really set the tone for this draft here.
And for the side of Coach Quinn's here, it will be the priority coming in for the side of JR. The Alien will be picked up, and Lapu Lapu. So I like how Isaac mentioned just now, right? In this tournament patch of KWC 2026, Zhangfei Lapu, extremely high priority on these 2 picks, and then you will come down to the other tank roamers here. So if you were to look at this right now, Zhangfei locked away, Lapu Lapu picked, and then the first trade from TEC, there's no real tank roamer in mind. And then you look at the crowd control available. This is why I talked to Kin. When you have a Lorien, you want hard engage, and hard engage comes from picks like the Guan Yu. And so far, in the first 3 picks of TEC, there is no hard CC to lock down this horse.
Yeah, it will be tough to kind of lock down, right? And I think that if we're looking at just kind of how they were looking to ban here, Coach Quinn's right now, you banned out the Pei, which is one of the most banned in the entire EWC thus far, and then also the Zhang Fei, #1 picked. It's very popular, and plus you've picked up the Lapu Lapu, which is kind of like a, almost very similar in terms of playstyle.
But that's the question, right? Can play-ins data define the group stage data? Because sadly to say, the power rankings of the play-ins team doesn't measure up to the group stage teams where they are higher in towards that standings. So do you think the play-ins meta will define what is being shown on the stage right now?
I think that, not to disrespect the teams that have played in the play-ins, I think that they were very honed in on what the meta was, right? What is very strong, and they're continuing. Like, they were not, like, completely off base of what heroes are good and everything. They've kind of figured that out. Most teams have, and I think that's why we're seeing the same sort of heroes here.
Yeah, it's very similar, just in different priorities,
Agreed.
right? Usually, when we were to look back into the play-ins, Lorien is more on a second and third pick, first phase, but never a first pick on either of these teams here. And coming into the 4th pick, I'm pretty surprised that Haya is still up and available up until this specific point here.
Yeah, actually, I was like, oh, Lorien, what a great pick. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot about the Haya. It hasn't been banned. This is probably my favorite mid-hero pick because of the fact that it adds so much. That Mirage really dictates the entire team fight and sometimes the games because of how he's able to literally abduct you.
It abducts you and then forces both teams, the 4 remaining members outside of the Mirage, to come together like, hey, guys, we got a group up here. I don't know what's going on inside, but once they come out, we better be ready to fight or actually like evacuate and disengage.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it sucks to be that guy in there that's stuck in there. It's like, oh, are you okay? Do you need water? What can we do? But I think that the rest of the team, they need to kind of have the little waiting in wings alts that are going to be there. It looks like the Lianpo and Ying here.
I am really scared for Titan Esports Club. Yes, on an overall view, it's an amazing draft. You have crowd control, you have engage, you have strong laning phase, but yet again, you don't have hard CC to stop the Luna and the Guan Yu. Once these two picks pop off coming in from Aurora Gaming, TEC's backline is gonna be in a heck of a favor in those team fights here. They'll be coming at you in all different angles from those flanks.
Oh, so this is scary. I mean, Yulong finally gets his Luna here. He's going to dictate so much of the pace. He's going to be on top of these squishy backliners. He's going to be all over your face. So it's all about kind of just making sure that, hey, maybe they can steal his blue buff away. They can kind of take away some of that farming efficiency, if you will.
100% right. You need to disrupt the Luna's jungle clear. Make sure you have the timers, engage, invade, that is all you need to do. So far, if you were to observe the draft coming in from the side of TEC, yes, maybe in terms of team fights, it will be slightly difficult, but at the very least, Clash Lane and Farm Lane, very strong two laners here to actually try to lock down the priority in assisting the side of Guxing in entering the jungle of the side of Yulong.
Yeah, I mean, that would be best case scenario, but they need to do it against a team that is, I mean, from the Aurora side, you're looking at these heroes and you're kind of thinking, oh, they can be very aggressive, they can be doing a lot of damage, they can control with the Guan Yu. You have a lot of different ways that they just want to be in your face.
Exactly, right? And if you think about it in that perspective, right, Holler, I'm really worried for South TEC. If they actually suffer any single casualties in the early game, the game will be wide open for Aurora Game because in terms of team fights, it's Aurora's game all day.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. In terms of this draft, I'm kind of liking where they're at with this one. But let's go into this one. It's going to be match number 1, game number 1 to set things off. And of course, Titan Esports Club going up against the beast that is Aurora Gaming. Is this going to be enough? What do you think about this draft here?
For me personally, right, after discussing and looking through all the specific pickoffs, for TEC, it's not to say that, oh, this is a very bad draft. No, it's still okay. If you can let the channel find proper scaling here. Use the big two bodyguards that's loaded with crowd control, for example, the Ying, for example, the Lianpo, and then you slowly but surely play it to the 14-minute mark. Yes, then we might see TEC look for those big laking team fights here. But if you do allow Aurora Gaming, especially Xiang and Yulong, to scale into those items and levels infinites, then that's going to be a problem here because so far, at the very least in the early game, I don't think in the team fights, TEC has anything to stop those two.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. I mean, the lack of CC is very worrying. If they're able to somehow find the Luna and they get lucky, they might have a chance. But I mean, you're kind of like, you know, what are the chances of that, right? You know that Yulong is going to be very elusive. But for me, let's go back, you know, in terms of this draft. The final two picks were the Lianpo and the Ying by TEC. What about the Ying is like, okay, this is going to take me over the top?
Now, I am a very big fan of the Ying ever since the rework on that 2-stack spear wheel where you can move and heal at the same time. Ever since that, it has been skyrocketing in terms of rank pick rate and also local tournament pick rates here. And after that, this bootcamp that I heard from them, Ying has been rising in popularity against some of these meta jungler picks here. And I'm kind of interested to see how the side of Guxing actually plays it off because it has been having so much hype and we've not been seeing competitive HOK for about 4 months now.
Yep. So, I mean, they've still been scrimming. Obviously, they've been kind of fine-tuning more than anything else. And going into this one, I mean, if we're looking at this draft, I still see that potential Yuna as that last pick to really just kind of create so much chaos, take over this game. I am so scared for TEC.
And that's all about the draft, right? We already analyzed it. We favor the side of Aurora drafts more.
Okay.
But however, TEC has a stronger early game to play those side lane pickoffs here. Now, question is, if you are on the TEC side and you are drawn in towards this group, what are your expectations in this group B?
I think, I mean, more than just expectations, I think it's just managing my nerves, right? You know that Aurora are big, you know that they're good, but you don't want to show them that much respect,
Correct.
right? And I think that you need to play your game. You're looking to surprise, you're looking to shake things up, and you got to do it, especially early.
And it's like a measuring tape, right? Where if you find a specific matchup against Aurora, maybe just maybe, you can upset ROC when you go and meet them later on.
Best case scenario, right? And I think that you're looking to surprise. You got to use the guise of darkness, if you will, to kind of catch them off guard in some fashion. If it's either through rotations, it's about being a little bit more aggressive in that early game to potentially kind of threaten Yulong here.
Interesting that Guxing's clear at 1 minute is only at the Wolf Scams right now here. So it's going to be slightly slow coming in for both of these junglers as they are reaching their level 4. But hit that CD key in the communities tab to get some Dragon Crystal for that Luna skin later on.
Yeah, so for me, I'm kind of looking at like TEC, how do they respond to Yulong? They know that the Luna is going to be there, wanting that blue buff. He's gotten both of those buffs, and they've largely been staying on their side of the river. They have not been aggressive in that case.
I think the CC layering, right? Why is Lorian so prized as a mid lane this patch? Yes, insane laning phase with that damage output, but the ultimate, that knockup is like what? 2 to 3 seconds if you get caught by it, and afterwards it's going to be CC coming in from the side of Ivalice, and you will be wondering if Yulong doesn't enter the fight correctly, he will be taken down instantly.
Yes, definitely a bit of a problem there. And I mean, if we're looking at Ivalice and Saber, both of these guys have been kind of the rock on their team in the sense of just being able to stabilize and just, you know, everything kind of runs through those two in terms of initiations and how they like to control. But if we're talking about Ivalice and Saber, are you giving any of them a bit of an edge in this one?
Ivalice or Saber, ooh, at the very least, I think both roamers, their role in this game is surprisingly the same, right?
Okay.
You're looking for the CC, you're looking for the backline. Saber charges in, doesn't find much of a play here, but Xiang.
Yeah, a little bit of action. The hero charges just pushing Calm back. He just wants to go back home, and Jihong is showing up as well. And it looks like it's going to be too much damage. Jihong is going to get first blood here.
Simple and clean coming in for the side of Aurora Gaming here. Individual pro play coming in from the side of Xiang to find that 1v1, and Zihong didn't even have to use that Moonscape Mirage for that play.
Yeah, Xiang there, that was the Honorofking's equivalent of an alley-oop. Just made it, set it up perfectly for Jihong, and now it looks like the Moonscape Mirage will be locking in Guxing. If anything, this is actually going to take away that farming time from him, but they go into the mid lane, they do have enough damage, and they will take him out. Ivalice is going to flash away, and Aurora Gaming starting to roll.
And it's at the timer of the red buff respawn here. You win out that fight. Jungle is open for your buffet here, and this pulls on the goalie so further away. You won that fight topside without using the Moonscape Mirage. It sort of just leaked through, affecting that mid lane 1v1, making sure that Guxing drop there, get the buff, and you were talking about like, oh, we gotta control Yulong. We gotta make sure that this Luna doesn't scale out of control. But now, look at it. It's trailing 2 levels above Guxing already.
So you can't panic. I mean, if you're TEC, if anything, just stick to your guns. Find a way. I mean, Guxing did die. Yeah, you're going to be slowed down, but you need to find a way to kind of, again, accelerate his farm, use that gold sharing to, again, get yourself back into this game, because it's kind of, you're starting to grow to a 2K net worth lead. That's a terrible time, especially at 4 minutes.
And that's not the only thing growing here. The fan votes are also growing in favor of Aurora Gaming here. You'll see that little Overlord pit with that Aurora Gaming logo later on. And at 4 minute mark, Tyrant has spawned. Based on the movement coming in from the side of TEC, I don't think they have what it takes to actually go for this contention here. If they go for this contention and if they lose it, ooh,
he gets
what
the
a steal!
Oh, Chinxi over the wall. The Soaring Signal says, not just yet. I'm still here.
Sending a signal, right, with that spell one shot coming in for the side of Qingxi. But it's still questions. How do they scale? I know you got the Tyrant, but you still need more than that to actually reach the equilibrium point here. At the very least for me, if Qingxi is able to hit that 3-item Shadow Ripper, Eternity Blade, and also the Daybreaker here, maybe TEC has much of a chance at the 10 minute mark. But for now, we gotta observe first. The next upcoming play, potentially at the top side.
Yeah, and I think that was a bit of a mistake by Aurora, right? Just going on to the side. But now the Moonscape Mirage, it looks like he's been locked in. This is so scary. As a physical melee hero, he's going to be stuck. Calm has no chances. They had 3 members of Aurora. They're looking to clean up. And Ivalice taking some shots as well. But that space created for the bottom, the Raging Sea, is not actually going to connect. The Infinite Vastness catches him on that U-turn. Qingxi running for his life, and he will fall.
A bit of an over-aggression coming in from the side of Qingxi there. I would say, yes, you have more members there, but you were like, what, in front of the tower here, positioning in a very difficult place for your team to actually save you there. Overall, it's still a good trade-off here as Xiang was falling in towards the hands of Gushing in that top side.
Yeah, that positioning was like you're so far past the tower, it's like, oh yeah, actually I'm going to die. There's no way for me to come back. If he was on the bottom side, he might have been able to get out. You do have a little bit of mobility with that Chano, but just not going to happen in this case.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, right? So far, Zihong has been the prime guy in setting up all these plays. Out of the 4 kills, he's 100% kill participation all across the map. You see him topside setting up a play against Calm, then he teleports down to defend JR against that dive. So he's everywhere on the map right now. And look at his position in towards that bottom side here. He wants to catch TC and slow down this channel's growth.
Yeah, and it looks like Aurora are starting to make some moves. They find Ivalice, at least for now. The pullback from Yulong. He's going to be hiding under the tower, but space created, and you got to just fear Yulong wherever he goes.
There's just no signs of life so far coming in from TEC. All 3 waves are simultaneously crashing into the towers of Titan Esports Club, and this leaves the bottom side open for the taking here. Very clean map movement coming in from Aurora Gaming. Next up, what is it? It's going to be the Crimson Golem here. If TEC takes this and loses the fight, it's going to be over.
Oh, the Raging Sea on to 3. The Tremor Smash in return. Now they try to go on to Ivalice, who gets under the tower, but he will fall. The Moonscape Mirage is going to be used as well. And they have the pushback onto Calm. They take him down. Aurora with 3 kills, and they want to go even for more. They're not going to dive the bottom T3, though.
But it's at 6 minutes 50 seconds here. With a 15 seconds death timer, Aurora is already knocking on your tier 3s.
I mean, Yulong just chasing it down. He doesn't care whose base this is. He's going in uninvited as they take the bottom T3. Aurora Gaming starting to roll.
Extreme dominance coming in from the team in blue. Aurora, they are exerting a 5,000 goal lead, and it is not slowing down at all. Gushing coming in towards the mid lane here to actually clear out the wave. But how long can you hold on? It's just like this voting in this Overlord pit here. It is all in Aurora's favor.
Yeah, I mean, they took the bottom T3. They take that entire lane. But, I mean, check out this fight.
Exactly. It started off with Zihong finding the Flash Moonscape Mirage on towards the backline here. Your only singular tank is already in that backline. Without him, you have no sort of any teamfight material back towards live.
Yeah, but now with this Azure Golem, that's a little bit of contest there. Jihong does end up finding Katsu. The pull away by Yulong. You cannot get away as Gushing falls down as well. 4 members down. Calm is nowhere to be seen. And it looks like Aurora, again, with this flawless gameplay.
I think TC is just falling into the rhythm of Aurora right now. Every time they want to defend an Azure Golem or Crimson Golem, yes, you secure it, but at what cost? Every single time it's either an ace or 4 members going down, and this just accelerates Aurora control over the game. And right now, at 8 minutes, you have 8,000 goal lead.
Absolutely huge. I mean, they've been in full control of this game. Aurora Gaming just taking everything from them. But the way that they're able to kind of dismantle you, even when they're taking towers, their players are in the perfect position to protect. Nobody can even defend the tower, and Aurora Gaming, they take the initiations, they take the fights that they want, and again, they coming out with a lot of success.
Very disciplined gameplay coming in from the Aurora Gaming side here. MKL's champion debuting in the KWC stage. In the pregame show, we were talking like, hey, can they convert that local success into international success? So far in this game 1, they seem to be having it.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't won this game yet. They haven't won any sort of championship. They were still a long way there. But Aurora Gaming right now, definitely impressing, right? I think that this is what they wanted to do, especially to start this. They're like any other team that's looking at this game, they're like, oh my gosh, Aurora Gaming, incredibly strong here.
It's a redemption arc. Aurora is home, taking a bit of a damage here, has to flash away towards safety.
Not going to happen on this one. And now Saber looking for that play. It looks like the Infinite Masses. He wants to go aggressive.
Beautiful.
JR has not been scared, but they already found Qingxi. Xiang with a play as he drives on out of there, almost untouched. With Qingxi down for 25 seconds, this is a huge opening as the Moonscape Mirage. Jihong locking in Calm yet again. He's stuck in the prison, and it looks like Jihong gets yet another kill.
Already godlike, 6-0 and 5. Xiang on towards the side lanes here with 3 minion waves marching in. The tier 3s will be no longer available coming in for TEC.
The pullback, Yulong not scared whatsoever. Xiang with a little bit low life. He was thinking, oh, maybe we don't dive this one, but they're going to go slow and steady in terms of how they want to siege. But it looks like with the respawn of Calm, I think that Aurora Gaming will regroup for now.
They're still disciplined. Even with such a gold lead, they're like, okay guys, it's nearing the 10th minute mark. There's still the enemy jungle camps that we can pick up. Once we pick it up, we go for that double objective and go for that clean and easy win. They are taking 0 risk, and this is what I like about their gameplay here. They can guarantee the win without forcing unnecessary fights.
Yeah, don't need to do that. But at the same time, they're so far ahead. They're like, okay, we're going to take both the Shadow Variant Tyrant and the Overlord at the same time because we do whatever we want in this game.
Yeah, and you can see just Saber just tussling with the side of the Gushing on that Ying, just making sure that he has no way of going in for a surprise Might Steal. And so far, with this specific goal lead and objective lead, 9,000 at 10 minutes 30 seconds here, once they release a Shadow Overlord is potentially the final push coming in from Aurora Gaming against TEC in this game 1.
I mean, when you've got these Vanguards, the lanes will definitely be crashing. And Aurora Gaming, the way that they've been able to just find players, I mean, Jihong has been an absolute maestro on this Haya, able to just take away Calm. He's the only tanky guy that can deal with this. And Jihong looking to go in. The Raging Sea is going to be used on the side, and the Razor Cavalry as well, but they've already taken down Jingxi. Calm has been killed as well, and Aurora Gaming just looking to pad the stats as it looks like they're going to take the game number 1 here.
An absolute masterclass coming in from the MKL champions in their spring season 2026. A very good way to open up their game here in the group stage of KWC 2026.
Just a really well-played game by Aurora Gaming. We kind of expected nothing but this, and the way that they're able to just dominate, control the game, I mean, this is classic in terms of Aurora Gaming here.
And for this specific part, right, you got to be wondering, TEC, yes, the draft wasn't that good, but in terms of boiling down to the execution here, Aurora was not just 1, but 2 and 3 steps ahead of TEC in every single play. Zihong was everywhere. Like, we do say, like, okay, numbers advantage is really important in Honor of Kings, but when you have your Haya making a play on top side against Calm multiple times, teleporting mid, getting Gushing, the second time, go top, catch Calm again, go bottom, and then defending JR and getting the side of QC, you gotta be wondering, how does this mid lane appear everywhere?
Yeah, Jihong was just like controlling the game. He did whatever he wanted. I mean, look, if we're talking about some of these stats, I mean, a lot of, donuts, dare I say, in terms of the Titans Esports Club, they weren't able to get at the kills because Aurora Gaming was not getting out of position. But, I mean, we've already talked about Jihong, but the 708
insane,
clearly cementing that MVP performance.
I think that it's not only the fact that Jihong had such a great performance, but actually just the strategy that they had. They knew that this Byron would be the answer in the mid and late game as the game just would keep evolving. But it was just them just targeting Calm. Since the minute 2, Calm was already just dying again and again and again. And then he just could not get out of the hole that Aurora put him in.
It was back to our pre-game discussion here. We wanted the Byron to get that lane win and then convert it into jungle pressure. So at the very least, they can slow down the Luna farm here. But it was the individual play coming in from Xiang, setting back-to-back solo kills against Calm so that Zihong or Yulong could just easily come and pick up those easy freebies in that drive-by. And then once that drive-by is finished, they utilize that map lead into other lanes. Usually we see that, okay, QC is doing a really good job against JR, but due to the fact that all your other lanes are winning, QC can't expand that lead at all.
I mean, if we're checking out some of these games, if you are a Titan Esports Club fan, please close your eyes. At this point, I think it's all about Aurora Gaming. The way that they, again, all of the team fights they find, they just completely control and dominate you. They take you down piece by piece.
It looks like a horror film coming in from the side of the PKL fans. You're having to face right off the bat against the MKL champions here. And so far, at the very least in this game 1, not only in terms of the game, but I do think that the draft has been amazing coming from Coach Quinz.
Yeah, of course, because if you think about Aurora, there's so much initiation coming in there. The Lapu Lapu can initiate. Jihong can come in and pull someone out. Xiang can always come from a side. And then there's Yulong on the Luna, just jumping in and out, just you can see on your screen.
Yeah, just completely dominating here. And I mean, JR, I don't know if it's like a little salt on the wounds, but he's using the infinite vastness aggressively. Like, he sees them grouped up and he's just like, I don't care. I'm just going to go in because we know that we are so far ahead.
I mean, if you look at your buddies here in towards the mid and top side here, it's like, oh, you guys are having so much fun. And then he's like, man, there's like 3 or 4 people from TEC knocking on my door on my tower here, guys. When can I get out of jail? This is farming jail.
All right. Thank you very much, lads. Right now, Aurora Gaming already with a 1-0 advantage in their match number 1 of this KWC 2026. It was an amazing performance by them. We're going to break it down a little bit more after we come back from this break.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by play.
He can come in here and play my game. He knows nothing but go!
Tyler Wine, you're done.
This is my ladder. You can't climb it.
That's an L airline.
Somebody better hold me back!
Okay, yeah. Do something then.
Blow the house down!
Welcome back. Aurora Gaming right now with a 1-0 advantage on top of Titan Esports. For Titan Esports, not everything was bad. Not everything was dark. There were some sparks over there of things that they could actually do that actually give me a lot of hope for this game number 2.
I mean, I'm kind of struggling. It wasn't too much lightness, I would say, in terms of being able to find some of those moments. I think that this is more of like a reset, in my opinion, right? I think that there were definitely moments where you're kind of like, how do we kind of deal with this? I think it's more of the adversity and kind of the mental state more than anything else. Because right now, Aurora Gaming, they were completely in control of that one.
Yeah, but Titan Esports they showed resilience. It comes 4 minutes in that Titan fight, and the QC comes in and he can steal the Tyrant as well, right?
I think those are like good signs of life, right? Coming in from the side of TEC. But if we were to delve into the competitive aspect on how they actually have more of a chance to win, drafting wise, yes, I understand you want the Lorien to make those fancy combos, but to make those fancy combos, you need to make sure that your early to mid game is as smooth as butter. At the very least, don't trail behind 5,000-6,000 gold. 2,000-3,000 still acceptable at the later stage because you can still force that 5v5 the Tyrant. So coming into the second game, the direction I have still, yes, strong side lanes, perfect, but your mid and roam needs to have more of a control over that mid lane here. Lock down Zihong, make sure he isn't able to use that mid lane pressure and convert it to side lane wins for their team.
Yeah, and I don't want to be negative, Nancy. I don't want to be like, oh, TEC are completely out of this one, but I do think that they need to make some adjustments. It's more about the strategy and the execution. Again, you were talking about how to limit Jihong, right, as much as possible. He's just, again, you cannot give him any space. It's very weird because as a mid laner, you're thinking, like, he's roaming around, he's doing his own thing, but this is one where, again, I think you need to lock him down so that he's not able to kind of roam freely as he did in that last one.
I'm certain that the coaches have the same ideas as we have right now, right? Like the coaches have been doing a lot of work for this specific matchup. I know that yesterday, as they knew that they were going to be fighting against each other, they went back to the hotels, they checked on the footage, and then they checked on what their teams can actually do. What do you think the coaches are going to be doing differently for this BP?
I think for me, at the very least, Aurora, they're still going to be sticking to what they have trained. Like, let's say the prime first picks like Long has been used, or Pei, or even Jing, those has been amazing for them. And Lorien, still one of the best ones so far. Zhangfei was banned as well, so I think both teams might want to get that Zhangfei to, at the very least, secure that crowd control and safe laning phase.
Yeah, set themselves up a little bit more for success. They've used some power picks already. I think that going into game 2, you're going to see even more aggression, right? And I think that the Aurora Gaming, I mean, unless you stop them in some fashion, unless you're aggressive yourself, there's really no way for them to kind of stop this train on that strategy of being able to be aggressive themselves by Aurora.
Well, Aurora Gaming in the previous game, in game number 1, they not only were aggressive, won the fights, but at the same time, they just slowly started piling up gold, right? Like, it comes to the 7th minute, and then they already had a 5,000 gold advantage. When we hit on the 10-minute mark, there were no high grounds for Titan Esports. They were already a 9,000 gold advantage. It was very hard just to stop them from doing that.
And one good tip that TEC can actually implement in their gameplay here. Yes, when you're losing, you have to stop going for those jungle defenses. Every time you go for a jungle defense, you're falling into Aurora's tempo. They want to fight you and accelerate that goal lead here. Maybe learn to give up that jungle patch, go for a side lane push, find farm somewhere else. So at the very least, you're losing 2,000 to 3,000 gold. It's fine. Guarantee yourself a chance at the 10th minute mark for those team fights.
Yeah, I mean, it all starts to, snowball a little out of control. I think that in terms of the decision making that they need to kind of do is, again, not play passively. They were very reactive in terms of how they were even trying to rotate. Jihong, once he goes to the top lane, where was Katsu, right? You need that backup. You need some sort of a help and that support or the call out to understand that, hey, somebody's going to be there. You cannot be getting yourself out of position.
That's correct, right? And coming in towards the second game's pick and ban here, for the side of Aurora, they'll be coming in towards the blue side, and for TEC, going on towards the red side. And right off the bat, you see a lot of these mid lanes removed from the pool. No Mai, no Lorian, no Haya. And for the side of the Yin, also removed from the pool. Pei. This pick has been one of the highest bans so far in our play-ins here. And in our first day of the group stage, it's coming back up.
It's definitely coming back up. And I think that it's more of, I mean, you were trying to, Coach XZ was trying to limit what Jihong had. Like, take away, attack that player. He did dominate you in game 1. But again, it opens a lot of the doors. Now this Pei is going to be there. Or you're talking about more early aggression with this one.
Yep, but I do like the pickup coming in from Coach XC with the Chicha and also the Xiao Qiao. These two picks are extreme duelists in towards that mid-range combat, which Pei enjoys. So picking up these two are extreme counters here, but I am loving the Florentino focus here coming in from Aurora Gaming. I've heard that Xiang, one of the better Florentinos I've seen so far in the scrim rumors.
Yeah, and actually, we saw the first win with yesterday's Chammy.
Yes, sir.
Chammy won. He was able to kind of pull out the W for it, so it's not winless. But I am super excited to see exactly, as you were rightly pointing out, Xiang here on this Florentino, if he's able to kind of get the maximum value out of this hero.
I'm a bit worried so far for the side of TEC. Yes, you have a pretty decent first 3 picks. You have a lot of damage, but where does your tank ability come from?
Yeah.
You don't have the Zhang Fei. Potentially, the Lapu Lapu might be banned out later on. And then you gotta be wondering, am I strong enough in the early game to sustain against the Florentino and Pei combination? Because this is like Pei plus Byron Pro Max. This Florentino, he's strong from level 2 in that 1v1 matchup here. So for the side of TEC is not only about protecting their own jungle, it's also protecting their side lane for a comfortable matchup.
Yeah, it's not looking easy. I mean, the Florentino and the Pei, both of these guys are looking to invade, right? Jing is not going to have the free farm that he's looking. So at the same time, now is the time, all right, for TEC to, again, round it out. You need some sort of early game heroes that can potentially help you defend your own jungle.
That's correct. I think something like a Lapu Lapu. Ooh, I like it. Anet, our second one of the tournament thus far. The only win on Anet that we've seen and the only pickup was the one with DCG, where they pick it up on Sin on the Roamer role. And coming in for this specific game, I am kind of wondering, like, what's the purpose of Anet? Because we know for a fact that Anet is different from Zhuangzi. From what I have heard from some of these players here, they mentioned that Anet is actually Zhuangzi, but you can engage with it. People think like, oh, Anet, you're just there for disengage, protect the big carry, but no. You can actually ult flash on this thing to get that stun off.
Okay. And again, I kind of want to see it, right? We haven't seen too much Anet, at the EWC thus far, and having that potential to kind of counter what, again, Aurora Gaming are looking to do, but they're going to pick the counter U and in the U1.
And I'm loving the draft coming in from TEC, because it's like we talk about, you can't pick conventional against a team that is, or that has mastered the conventional playstyle. So you pick something that you have mastery on to catch them off guard. And they go with the Jing, Liu Bang, Shicha. So all these are prime carriers for the Liu Bang to access towards the backline to pick up those squishy targets that you mentioned.
Yeah, and it's going to be a delivery service, right? And when they want to go in, everybody's going to go in together. Ride or die we go as we try to go into this one. And of course, this is going to be game number 2. Is TEC's lineup, is it good enough to take down at least a game, or at least for this one?
A game is a far stretch. Let's control the first 10 minutes first. Then we see whether they can take a game. Because so far, in the first game, TEC has been completely in the hands of Aurora Gaming. Every single play has been orchestrated by Aurora, and TEC is just in the line of their rhythm here. So at the very least, in this game, I want to see how they play this Liu Bang. Yes, Liu Bang is great. You have the level 4 Battlefield Command to chain with Guxing. Question. Florentino, what a strong laner. How do you control it as a Liu Bang?
That's a number one question, right? Like, how would you deal with that? That doesn't seem like an easy out for him. And this is also Liu Bang where if you fall behind, you're just basically like that shield bot. Yeah, you have that numbers and you'll be able to shift, but it doesn't really add anything more.
That's true, right? So at the start of the bat here, we do see Yulong stealing away the wild boar already, simultaneously clearing up that mid wave. So that's not gonna be a good thing for Guxing's Jing. And I'm kind of surprised. How do you outsmite a double smite Jing on her clones?
Yeah, very good question. I mean, going into this one, this is what we were expecting. This is why Pei is so difficult to deal with. It's going to be in your jungle very early on.
Yeah, exactly here. Oh, nice pickup of the clear here coming towards the mid lane. So that's going to be wave directly in towards the mouth of Yulong. At the start of the game, you already see Zihong putting more pressure in the top side against Calm, making sure that Xiang gets every single objective in that triangle. You get the teleportation sprite, you get the fire beak from the side of Liu Bang, and also the spike tail beast. So everything won by this Florentino.
Yeah, very efficient, right, with that movement. If you're looking on the south side, I mean, Katsu was there to kind of deal with the health in that bottom lane, but he's not farming as efficiently as you were just talking about. So those are the little things, and that's why you're seeing a little bit of a lead in terms of Aurora Gaming's net worth.
Very efficient in that farming, right?
Right.
Like, I like this coming in for the side of Aurora Gaming. If you want to funnel gold towards the side, but hang on, Guxing.
It looks like Guxing gets the pull in. It looks like Zihong is a little bit low.
Jiang?
He actually is going to sidestep it on the side, and Zihong is still alive as well as Guxing, but Ivalis now, he might have been caught. He tries to flash away. He does get to safety, but now they're looking to go right back in. Guxing trying to make the play on the Saber to get First Blood, and Qingxi will secure it.
He comes in from that bottom side, making sure that they get the numbers advantage. What was started coming in from TEC is that they found an initial engage, and with the help of Qingxi's rotation here, they managed to make it. We're picking up an easy kill on towards Zhang Fei here. Very well played coming in from the TEC farm lane.
I don't know if it was exactly easy. They had to kind of bait it out, extend the fight, turn it a little bit longer than it probably should have here.
Like, if we were to look at this at the start get-go, right, we do see the initial play coming in from the side of Aurora jumping on first, but Guxing's amazing engage was the start of the play. And when you go into the enemy jungle, there's a 15% damage reduction for your team. So it's going to be difficult for Aurora to finish off key targets like Evalis on the Anan or Katsu on the Xiaoqiao.
Yeah, do you think that was a little bit of a botch up by Aurora Gaming? Is that like one of the first glaring mistakes, or was it kind of like, just unlucky?
I think overconfidence. It's like, they're like, okay guys, let's fight, bring the momentum from game one, and they sort of underestimated the sprightly guardian that's guarding here in the first 4-minute mark.
Yeah, and I also think, I mean, a bit of an issue because Qingxi getting that first blood, you never really want to see the enemy farm laner getting that extra gold, if you will.
Exactly the case here. And at 3:30 here so far, we do see Aurora stealing once again the wild boar from the side of TEC. Top side, heavy 1v1.
Yeah, Calm actually flashing away. He's going to be fine under that tower, but a good attempt, especially on that side. But TEC, I like what they're doing, understanding the timing of these boards. They've been pinpoint accurate in terms of just like the time, making sure those rotations are happening and taking them boards away.
And talking about rotations here, it seems that Aurora Gaming are not going for that Tyrant play here. They don't want to allow Calm on that Battlefield Command to actually get value in that 5v5 with that shield. So they give up the Tyrant, they go for the tower instead.
I mean, it's not even 4 minutes, and they've just done so much work on this top T1. They're looking to just burn it down. Yulong and Xiang, these two have done way too much in terms of this damage. And now the Tyrant, it's getting bursted. It looks like Guxing will look to take that away. And with that, I'm sorry, JR gets the steal.
That's just adding salt into your wounds. You lose the Tyrant, you're also losing a Crimson Golem towards the top side. Aurora using the minimal resource to steal everything from the side of TEC. This is payback to King C from Game 1.
Look, I was just assuming that Yuxing was going to smite that, but I don't know why he didn't pull the trigger and letting JR take that one away. I mean, an absolute disaster for them, but now with this Honey Sweet Breeze, Saber is going to be skirted away.
You're not going to be feeling too good about it because it's the same logic that Yulong did in game. It's like, okay, I want to save my smite because the enemy jungle has already shown in the cross map, so I save my smite, but hang on. They stole it!
Yeah. I think you cannot play safe, or you can't play like that. I mean, now with the Honey Sweet Breeze, they actually find them, and now with the connection onto Saber, they do have enough damage. The burst is real from TEC, a great rotation and a pick-off.
Beautiful CC chain coming in from the side of TEC, making sure that Ivalice uses the ultimate and Katsu with the Honey Sweet Breeze to make sure that Saber couldn't press heal, nor his Unbridled Outburst in actually making it out alive. So far, kills has been in favor here. Check out the 1 minute top side.
Yeah, Gushing all by himself, though. Looking to just dance around. He actually steps out, and now Xiang, too much respect in that sense. Yulong pouncing forward, gets the smite onto Gushing, and he says, "Where you going?" as Yulong smites him down.
It's a bit of a bait play here, but Calm having the force of flash ready.
He's so low. He tried to flash. He got slowed down. Jihong is on a train. The Unbridled Outburst will connect, but they're all outrunning it now. Here comes the cleanup. Yulong on the side. Ivalice, he too will fall. Jinxie is all by himself, stuck between a rock and a hard place as well. He goes down.
Is Yulong going for fast food or something? He got a kill in the top side, immediately went towards the mid lane, and everybody is serving for their jungle here, setting up quick back-to-back kills for the Aurora jungler.
Aurora Gaming, they look absolutely possessed, and they just want to go. It's all green lights for them as they've taken down. And now, look at this one. Check out the replay here.
It's off a very good start for the side of Aurora. They already picked off Gushing in towards the top side here with a beautiful Unbridled Outburst here. Yulong was pretty smart. He was waiting for a better wall to jump in on towards Katsu here, and then the ultimate coming from Evelyn was just 2 seconds too late, and at that point, it's already 3 kills into the pocket of such a commanding pick from Yulong.
Yeah, just absolutely commanding. The Yulong, he had that nice play. He actually killed Gushing, and he was able to rotate, and at the same time, TEC were like, they thought they were fine, but just too much speed, too much mobility from Yulong as they, again, he was able to just clean house.
And I was about to say, like, oh, it's pretty good so far, because even if TEC was trailing behind gold, they had 2-0 in terms of kills, but in the span of a minute, Yulong was like, okay, lock in, let me get that 4 kills.
It's not about the kills. If there's anything that we've learned in Honor of Kings, it's about those objectives.
Correct.
Again, just extracting that farm, building that lead, and this is why. But if you're talking about this bottom lane, Xiang so low, it looks like he's going to be fine. Ivalice is a little bit low himself. Saber's on the side, and now with that ult, is he able to stay alive? Ivalice gets onto the tower with that flash, and it doesn't look like Aurora are going to continue with his pursuit.
Saber was so smart with that. He was just walking, making sure that Ivalice has to burn the ultimate and also the flash. He was holding his Unbridled Outburst here, just being a menace in that specific play alone. And with the minions marching in from that mid lane here, tier 2 goes down, jungle is spawning once again. It's just a repeat of game number 1. They beat you in one fight, and your jungle just falls into total control in towards the opponents.
Yeah, Saber there. I mean, very patient.
Very patient.
Not only did he not use it, but he was just kind of threatening to use it. But now he's got it for this potential team fight that's coming up. And again, just getting maximum value. Sometimes it's not about using the ult.
It's not about it. It's about utilizing it for the same effect. It's like, if I don't use it, it's like a trigger discipline. That Koi hook, they're just looking at it menacely. If you release it, then it's like, oh, he doesn't have to trade anymore. I can go in. And so far, in this 8-minute game, 7,000 goal lead for Aurora Gaming. How does TEC come back from this hauler?
Well, I mean, Gushing is like 3K behind Yulong. That has been the biggest diff, I would say, in terms of this gold. He has struggled, right? Again, just no space. TEC has not been providing it, but it actually started from the early game, right? TEC were up 2-0 in terms of the kills, but Aurora Gaming, the way that they're able to bounce back is because they're like munching these towers down.
And they're not slipping up any sort at all, right? Every single time they find a opportunity, they pounce on towards it and they increase that margin of victory here. Nice knock up.
Oh, I like the fact that you used pounce, right? That was the fun of the day, if you will, with the Yulong there on that side. But he's been an absolute maestro on this pay. He's been able to take them down 4-0-0. And now this looking to siege into this top lane and the mid lane at the same time. Because why not when you have this lead? The mid T3 is down.
They have nothing to be afraid of. With the minions marching in 2 waves here, easy pickups on towards those tier 3 high ground. Now back towards jungle, take that overlord, wait for the 10-minute, rinse and repeat for the side of Aurora Gaming.
It's not even 10 minutes in, right? I mean, you could just play with your food, so to speak. All you need to do is be safe. Nobody takes any sort of risk. We're going to just slow siege the bottom lane. And now TEC have to hold on some fashion.
They need to find some way, somehow, some way. But it has been really, really difficult. Zihong just playing in such aggression here, utilizing the ultimate to make sure that he finds a play. Trying to engage on Zihong.
He takes a couple shots from Xingxi though here with the bottom T3, and now the ult, that's gonna actually do nice little stun with the Umbrella Outburst. They actually can return it onto 3, but Gushing is gonna be killed here. Xingxi is on the side, tries to at least go for Saber. He's not gonna find him, and Aurora Gaming, not a single member down.
But that was a good engage coming from TEC. It's just the goalie that is just too darn high from both people. Nice engage!
Nice stun yet again! Yulong just cleaning him up on the backside, taking him all down. That's going to be an ace, and Aurora Gaming are going to take the series.
Zihong is on fire, man. That 4-man stun with the melody coming in from the Yuhuan, just catching all the members coming in from the side of TEC, and that's GG going into Aurora Gaming in this best of 3 series.
Aurora Gaming look good, man.
Beautiful.
Looked so good right now. The way that they were able to just control it, just completely dominate it, even when they were behind. We were talking about resilience. Well, boom, that shows a lot of resilience by Aurora Gaming there.
Do they need boom esports for that boom, or what are you in trying to...
You know, I'm just kind of, a little bit of inception and just getting in their heads a little bit. Now they need to fear boom as they move forward. But again, I think Aurora Gaming are going to be very happy with that performance today.
It's a very thundering performance coming in from Aurora Gaming, right? What a way to debut in the group stage here. And with that win, Aurora Gaming is marching to the upper finals for the side of Group B. And one more win, they are soft secured. No, not soft secured. They are secured for playoffs.
Yeah. Just one more win. That's all it takes at this point. But again, congratulations to Aurora Gaming as they were able to just close that one out. That was a very impressive win.
I love that because the way that the pay was played in there, like the tempo, like the momentum, just completely controlling the jungle coming in from the other side, just does not allow a way for the Jing to actually be played in this game.
It started off from the early game where we seen how they went for the aggressive wild boar steal, and probably from my observation, Gushing probably used his double smite on the Crimson Gold and just like, oh, he's invading. I already used my smite. I can't steal that.
What about now?
What do I do?
I mean, that was the last time that he saw that buff.
Yeah. Actually, that would really slowed him down. And then also the fact that they were leading and then that Tyrant fight, that was like the tipping point. Once they gave that away to JR with that steal, it was kind of like, oh my gosh, they were so discouraged and they were not able to get their headspace right to come back into this one.
And I've been liking the Florentino pick, right? Instead of focusing on that 1v1 purely, what Blacklist International and Aurora Gaming did is that, okay, we use this Florentino and make sure that it generates a strong enough lead so that strong junglers like the Pei can consistently invade with that wave priority.
So are we just saying that right now Florentino has become a bait? And these people just are taking it, and then since everyone is just hyper-focused about that hero, then right now it's opening other doors for everyone else.
It's to your point, right, Isaac? It's, yes, a bait, but it's something like a Byron Pro Max, where you are so dominant in lane that you can actually convert that lane priority into map pressure and jungle pressure for your team. So once you lock in that Florentino, your opponents have to be wondering, like, what pick can actually defend me to at least ease out that matchup so that my jungle doesn't get invaded? Because we saw from that replay, it was Florentino and also Yulong on that Pei, getting that tower and then getting the Crimson Golem.
So what is that counter to the Florentino in terms of the laning phase at home?
I think so far from what I've heard, it's lane swapping.
Okay.
You lane swap your farm and roamer towards the top side and bully him with a strong matchup. It's not any sort of 2v1 that can actually achieve this, but you need strong laners like Aoyan, for example, Chicha, for example, paired with like a Diadea, Mozi.
Okay, and also if we're talking about, future games with Aurora Gaming, all of the coaches and teams that are watching this, like, what do you do in terms of this first phase ban? I mean, the Florentino is definitely very strong. You're talking about like a Pei that got through, and then you're seeing that Jihong like striving on every single mid hero. Like, how are you dealing with this?
I think it's no longer about picks, right? As we advance towards these stronger and stronger power ranking teams, it's about what you do in the game. Yes, draft decides a lot, but when you're locking in a 50-50 or 60-40 draft, the decision that you make in the game is very important, because TEC, what they did wrong is, yes, they're wanting kills, but they're not capitalizing on the map objective. And when they're losing, they are always fighting in Aurora's terms. Like, jungle buffs are spawned, they're like, let's fight. I'm like, oh, we lost again. Double down. And then the goalie just expands very quickly for the side of Aurora Gaming into infinity.
Well, right now, Aurora Gaming, with that 2-0 victory, they are going to be waiting for the next team that they're going to be facing them in the afternoon. Look at the highlights, just the way how dominant they were in this whole matchup.
Absolutely dominant. I mean, like, it looked good for TEC. This is probably the best start that they had, but then you're seeing some of the kills that turned it around. Yulong, once he pounces, this is the one. They were all out retreating. They thought, okay, we're going to be diving, we're fine under the towers, but Yulong comes out of left field, cleaning them up with Saber to just back them up. I mean, this is just Aurora Gaming at its finest, all in your face.
This is drive by for fast food, right? Like, oh, pick up for rule number 4. Switching, thank you for coming towards the Aurora Express.
Taking them all down. I mean, they were just completely on the defensive. TEC, they were not able to allow any sort of comeback, but then again,
what a nasty one coming in from Zhong. That was just beautiful on the mid lane of Aurora.
Just really well played. I mean, what else can you say by Aurora Gaming? I think that was a flawless one. I think that they're going to be very happy with that. And they create, this momentum as they continue on even later today.
Well, let's wait and see what they can show us different later today. I'm very happy to see Aurora Gaming, because we said about like how in this group stage we're going to have already like the heavyweights coming in. And I do believe that Aurora Gaming might be ranked in the top 4 of the teams that we have over here in this game. 4 of the teams that we have over here in this game. 6.
Yeah, definitely expectations are very high, right? I think that for Aurora Gaming, I think that if you're a fan of Aurora Gaming, you can continue to ride that flag, because I think that you're going to be in a fine spot. They look nigh unstoppable on this one.
I mean, the next step is for them to challenge the KPL teams, but that is still very far away in towards the playoffs here. For them, it's about moving on to the playoffs here and potentially facing off the winners between the series of ROC Esports going up against Influence Bridge later on.
Yes. Right now, for Titan Esports, they need to go back to the draw board and they just start checking exactly what they want to do, what to change right now. Maybe this matchup against Aurora Gaming was just going to be only just too one-sided, and we needed just to get someone else out there. Right now, they get to go back to the hotels and start thinking about that, but the next match is going to be really vital for them. Now Mara has the players from Aurora Gaming right over there on stage. Let's go to Mara and let's see exactly what she got for us.
From the winning team, Jihong, congratulations! First match and you already dominated the opponent. Game number 1, it was 16-1. Game 2, it was 10-2. Great rotations, great mobility, and you kept your opponent always one step behind. What allowed you guys to be so dominant for this first matchup today?
I think we are very confident, and my coach just said enjoy the game, so we just play as scrim, play as normal, so that's why we win the game.
So enjoying the game, it really is the key. Now, you found your group, Group B. When we did the live draw announcement yesterday, and you took a look at your opponents for everybody, what did you think about your group, and who do you think would be the toughest challenge for your team?
I think it's quite interesting because we meet Nova again, we meet ROC again. There's a Russia with strong team, but I don't care who they are, so we just play our best, then win easily.
You said it was quite interesting that you're meeting the previous teams that you've met before, including Nova. Do you think that you can sweep them, just like the strong, dominant performance that you showed today?
I think it's an easy game, and a message to Nova, and message to ROC or the Influence. Make sure you are ready to meet us. We are very strong today. Make sure you are eat well, make sure you are sleep well to meet us.
That is a very challenging message, but you know what? A lot of your fans also want to hear from you. Invite them to support you.
Thanks for your support. This winning show that we are closer to our target champion. So thanks for your support and keep supporting us.
You heard it from Jihong. Watch out for them. They're waiting for you. Now we'll head back to the casters. Lead the gorge.
Thank you very much, Trihong, over there with those very nice words sent over there to INF and to ROC, right? Like, you better just have your things ready because we are going to beat you. I really hope that ROC and INF are really listening to that, because if that's going to be the way that the games are going to start, I am really looking forward to this whole group stage. Match number 1 of today is done. We're going to move forward into match number 2. Let's go for a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to bring you the action of the KWC 2026. How are you guys feeling about today?
To get here, obviously we have the play-ins, which I want to just hark back onto briefly, saying
Byron, nice pick. Civic, you could never go wrong with a Byron pick on the top, and also with his Labu. I feel like ROC is trying to build up a really well-rounded composition for game 1. They just want to do it in a pushing way, but in a safe way.
Yeah, in a safe way, absolutely. You've got the kind of sustainability, as you were just alluding to there, Nora, with the Byron. Lapu Lapu, we've been seeing some fantastic ultimates, right? Like, I feel like we've yet to see a Lapu Lapu ultimate not catch onto at least 3 members of the enemy team. And if that does happen, the reverse, happens, it's a wasted ult. It's a wasted engage. But if you look towards everyone's Rage's draft here, they're going for the Agudo for that kind of like early game tempo lead that they want to build for themselves here.
And I feel like with this in pick, actually allowing ROC to do some early invasions, because Agudo can be quite vulnerable in the early game, right? Because you can just instantly interrupt his farming pace by just attacking on this Agudo. So I feel like it's pretty like a mid-late game on the side of INC, but for ROC, they can do a lot of things in the early game, maybe like before 6 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like the Ying is a really good kind of like counter towards the Agudo as well, right? Because obviously, if you put down the Wild Growth, you're basically spawning minions for Ying to get that passive up. So she can build up that combo and come up with something crazy combos there in terms of obviously not only self-sustainability, but that CC that's also included within Ying's kit. But that is the draft for game number 1 here. We obviously saw the Dharma onto the side of Influence Rage. It's going to be down to Tempest. Can he coordinate with the Zhongfei to get that big crucial crowd control into these team fights?
Well, if we are looking for those big crucial team fight, I'm talking about 4 minutes mark, because after they reach level 4, it's going to be the first power pike in this game on the side of INC. And also we know that Influence Rage, they are always go for the fight. So I'm going to say 4 minutes mark is pretty crucial in game 1.
Yep, getting into game 1 now. Ladies and gentlemen, we are kicking off the second part of Group B here. It's going to be ROC Esports going against Influence Rage. And as you saw into the pit there, ROC Esports definitely have a big fan base in-game as they have won that voting system right now. Obviously, bot side of the map, we have seen another just the tip for tap down here, really just trying to give those marksmen down to the bot side here the best advantage and the prio here.
And actually, the early HP training seems very optimistic on the side of INC.
Yeah, just looking to go for that neutral objective point down bot side, right? Obviously get that Phoenix, get a little bit more extra gold here because ROC are just looking to make sure that their pockets are fat into the early game, but nice little steal away with that little neutral point there, the spike there, the fire beam, sorry.
I do like the way how they designed their early game, you know? It's kind of just surprised me because INC, I always feel like they're pretty scrappy and always looking for some fights, but like those big team fights. But as you can see, they actually improved so quickly. After they went through the playoffs, they learned a lot on the early operations that you can see right now they're showing on the map.
Exactly, because I mean, it just brings back to that point that we was talking about in the pre-game, right? Like the playing's level of entry is pretty high, and there was definitely some takeaways here for Influence Rage to influence better plays for themselves. Between these two teams, not quite a lot happening into the side lanes, right? Obviously, a lot of the magic's happening here into the mid lane. Just obviously, once again, creating that map control here. Okay, into the wall here. Wave Hit is actually taking a lot of damage, but he's able to actually have that charge out thanks to Lapu Lapu's kit.
I do like the way how Tempest just foresee what ROC is going to do, because the vision shows that ROC is going to rotate into the mid. So Tempest just ambushing in that left side of the bush and just make that happen.
Yeah, exactly. Just trying to get some kind of way in, or maybe even try and force somebody for a recall at this point. So obviously that's going to then mean that somebody is away from their lane. Fury there, taking a few two punches. Too many for my liking. He has to kind of make sure he's here for the takedown of the Space Sprite, using the flash there as well. That's an important common skill being used here by the side of Influence Rage. It means their mage is going to be a little bit more easier to catch here. But speaking of catch, we see Tempest looking for an approach here for Quan.
It's just some like nice trace, some skirmishes right now. Waiting for the night moment.
I think they're just building that calm before the storm, right? Obviously, Maina here just using that intel. Just like, guys, we need to see where the rotation is next for Rock. Like, where is the priority going to be leading here into that 4-minute mark?
I feel like if they want to prepare for that 4-minute mark, then they should unleash both side lanes, actually, especially for the top lanes. They need the Dharma to be at the front, help them to initiate, so does this Biopic.
Speaking of which, Dom is actually taking a bit of a trading blows top side of the map here right now. It's definitely going to put them into a little bit more of an interesting situation when it comes to trying to get him down to the mid lane, use a space sprite so he's there for that neutral objective. But it looks like Xuan is going to go for the lane cut off here as well. So when it comes to this next minion wave, it means that Tempest has to be top side of the map.
This is a small trick that they did, right? Before the 4 minutes mark, you should just cut the wave and help you to gain the priority.
Yeah, you're expecting just like the Clash lane just to go 1-to-1 all the time.
Yeah.
But when you have these calculated moves here from such experienced players like Xuan, it makes it a little bit harder for the side of Influence Rage. And now, speaking of hardships, it's going to be Ying getting knocked into the wall there. Con Ling, you don't want to be losing your smite as the 4-minute mark comes up here. This is a problem for ROC Esports.
This is a 0-2 trade around 4 minutes mark, and just check Tempest ulti, right? He just ambushed him again in the bushes, and we didn't see it actually.
Yes, the feistiness is what we were alluding to here from Influence Rage. Like you were saying previously, Nora, they picked up a few things here from that playing stage. They are playing very dominantly, and they're not just happy with that Tempest Dragon, right? I mean, the Tyrant, they are taking the T1 down bot side as well.
And I feel like the way how these two teams are playing right now, INF, they are continuing their momentum that they gained from play-in. But as for ROC, this is their first game, right? Maybe they are just, I don't know, just not that into the game right now so far.
You mean, like, yeah, they're just warming up, right? They're just getting a bit of a used to what they can do here onto the door. That's it, testing the limits of their group right now. But oh no, Danny goes down there. That is going to be killed. Given over to Muchi. He is going to be looking to amass some more kills here, trying to get that late game online. But Xuan playing the Byron. He's taking the damage, and just a bit of damage over time there from Fury on the Lurian just means that they traded 2 for 1.
And ROC, they are fighting back by just concentrating, pushing on the top.
Yeah, they're looking to obviously just replicate what the damage has been done down to the bot side of the map, right? Obviously just playing the other half, but this is not the game state they really want to be giving over here to Influence Rage. That mid-tier 1 falling, I think this could be a probable cause here for the victory of game number 1 going to ROC just by that moment alone.
Exactly. By taking down this tier 1 tower in the mid, ROC can gain great vision control due to this Lapu-Lapu and also this Byron, because Byron actually prioritized Pierce Sky in such an early age. So I would say they will just use their tankiness and try to brought more vision control into their side and let this Garuda to pushing forward. I
think this is just ROC Esports knowing the limitations of their roam, right? Because obviously, if you look at Lapu-Lapu, if you look at Zhangfei is definitely more tankier. So we saw Xuan make that consecutive decision and be like, you know what? I need to be tanky as well. Taking that Pure Sky, I think is a very good call there.
And they just keep their composure. They just stick into their original plan. They didn't just disrupt or annoyed by INF's attacking rhythm.
Yeah, and then we're just looking for Influence Rage to put more pressure down to the bot side of the map here. This Agudo is the reason why they're able to do this. T2 getting taken down here, but it looks like it could be a favorable engage here from ROC Esports. You do see Xuan here literally just roaming around the mid to bot side. He's looking for a pickup. He's looking for some weakling here. He's waiting in the wind. Danny may be the suspect to be taken down, but Lefty actually gets the pickup here. Danny gets the pickup onto Xuan. And Maina is just looking for just anything to make a means of control here.
I mean, like, you know, Influence Rage, they're never afraid of going head-to-head, right? You're ambition, all right, let's just fight.
That's Chuck BR specialty.
Like, yeah, it's pretty Chuck BR playstyle, right?
Yeah.
Like, it seems to be like an encounter that they did. It's for, around the ambush. But the thing is that with ulti, with a double knock-up from INF, they just can easily fight it back. Just check the double knock-up, right? First, it's gonna be ulti from Zhangfei, and then it's gonna be Dharma's ulti, and it's just like really nice combo that they did help them to turn it around.
I'm very impressed with Influence Rage in this game, number one, right? They're kind of like playing like as if they're not, like they're still using the identity of Chuck VR, but they're using like the identity from other regions where team fights take place, but little objective gets taken from them, you know?
Yeah. I feel like INF, they still hold their own personality, but as we're talking about their fighting playstyle, they're not doing it in a reckless way.
No.
Instead, they're doing it in a brave way.
Yeah.
Like a slight difference, but just let them to be more sophisticated.
It's more coordinated, right? It's definitely like, what can we get from this team fight, and what's the potential loss? So the rate of interest is seeming to be what's in the mind here of Influence Rage. Like, okay, we're able to get a good team fight. We're able to try and take some more here. We see the ROC's Esports are just looking to go for a bit of an Overlord catch here. Not quite being able to catch that second Tyrant of the game.
It's because that ROC, they spot that it's going to be impossible for them to confront INC in this case, so they just made some dragon trade happen, trying to buy them more time for this move, for this channel pick. This channel haven't died yet, right? Got the 100 KDA, so really nice. They're just going to play around their channel and give him the rebuff, give him the priority, give all he wants.
Yeah, I think giving the attention over to the KDA board is probably a good means of making sense of what's been happening here, because if you look at Laurie and Fury as well as Leffy, this is the backline that ROC Esports should be accessing, should be taken down, but the fact is they've had no deaths, which is probably why they're struggling to actually get these team fights to go in their favor.
Especially Aowen is one of those marksmen, have the survivability, right? Use the ulti, he can easily just take care of it.
Yeah, he's an independent boss lady if he wants to be, you know, like he has the dragon to take him out of these sticky situations. But speaking of sticky situations, definitely Influence Rage being stuck into the enemy jungle, but Muchi's able to get that Crimson Golem. Unfortunately there, that would have been a beautiful steal. Extra damage given over. Now that we have the Shadow objective onto the Gorge here as well, it means that would have been a beautiful transition down to the tower.
And as you can see, they're preparing for it. Agudo taking the rebuff. It's really rare to see the jungler taking the rebuff around the tip of the and here we go, burst out damage.
Beautiful unbridled outburst here just to push away the side of RO Esports. Really opening the backline there as well. They do trade both marksmen. Unfortunately there, Leffy is no longer on the no death run, but it's going to drive ROC back into the base so they can go with the Shadow Tyrant.
I do like the way how Leffy just sacrificed himself to do that 1-1 trade. He knows that using his ulti, he can easily do the burst of damage. Just check the farm lane, right? Leffy goes in, flash out, and he's just looking at this Mutsu. He's so committed to take him down.
Yeah, he's like, if I'm going to go out, I want to take somebody with me. Exactly, yeah, really going for it there. And I feel like that's just another layer to Honorofking's team fight, right? Like sometimes these sacrifices need to be made for the greater good.
No matter you're playing as a marksman or the jungler, because as you can see, if Leffy did that sacrifice, just take that Mutsu down, the only core of on the side of ROC is vanished before this team fight happens. So it can easily give INF the chance to take that dragon down.
There's a chance here that Lorien Orb just really keep Wave Pit into place, really forcing out that ultimate that didn't actually have maximum effect there. Weren't able to steal over that red buff once again. ROC are keeping hold and lockdown onto that Crimson Golem, as well as obviously the Shadow Overlord as well, right? We see Wendy is holding onto those Vanguards for the right time. I feel like here, down to the bot side, could potentially be the key into ROC's backdoor potential here.
Well, if we're talking about the potential, then they need to push forward. But as you can see, they are playing around this channel on the top.
Yeah.
So I guess they're just using those Vanguards to buy them more time. But still, they need to fight back.
They do need to fight back, because if they're not able to claim these team fights for themselves, I feel like it's just going to kind of just slowly bleed out the side of ROC Esports. But there's a takedown the T2 top side of the map here as well. We do obviously Vanguard approaching the opposite side. So now is the time for Influence Rage to go, right guys, we need to do a bit of damage control here. Damage control is going to be taken here into the mid lane, just trying to make sure that Minion wave could be getting caught off here as well. Juan just trying to bait out as many skills as possible here. It's going to be the Wings of Judgment from Wendy. It's going to keep that minion wave getting pushed there, but Lorian Fury is placing damage here onto Mushi.
It's gonna be a force on the flash of Muzi, so it's gonna be a really nice try.
Yeah, at least burning something, right? You're getting little bits, even if it's just the small and minor details here. It means that they can't quite compose the team fights the way they want to here. Kongling on the retreat. Danny trying to stop and mitigate any damage from the Wings of Judgment once again from Wendy. Because, I mean, if you look at both of the mid lanes, neither of these two mid laners have died. So I feel like there is definitely props to be given over here to these two players.
Yeah, and not only about those two mid lane players, but also like for the team. As you can see, even though the goal difference is there, but it's totally acceptable on the side of ROC, right?
Yeah.
It seems like the game is reaching a deadlock because INF, they are seeking for the fight. Actually, they're waiting for a fight.
They are.
ROC, they're playing in a really nice way, right? They are just holding back and using all those long attacking range from Garuda, from Channel, from In's ulti, and try to shred down the HP on the side of INC. So ROC, they are actually guarding their high ground tower and also just pushing those lanes as it is very even.
Yeah, one of my biggest concerns moments ago is the fact that Influence Rage wasn't really getting kind of like any minion wave priority there, but top side of the map we saw it get around about kind of T2 territory, but then it was caught by ROC. So I feel like if you that needs to be the forefront of your mind as well as these team fights being composed here as well. Juan is just kind of always finding a lurking left. He has to use the flash escape away from there, but the Unbridled Headburst catches onto 3. Wave it with the disruption means that Juan has the time into the backline. Tempest falls as well. Minions are at both the top side and into the mid lane, meaning that ROC are slowly but surely claiming ground from Influence Rage.
I mean, like, Shen on himself, he just eat up all those damage dealt by INF and just bought enough time for his teammates to do that in close.
Okay, we're just using here the Wings of Judgment, just clearing them out once again. I feel like Influence Rangers kind of fumble in the bag a little bit here. They did so much into the mid, early to mid game, but now Leffy comes through, gets to pick up here onto Waypip. Muchi as well is going to be the unsuspected victim once again. Minion Wave bot side here is maybe the chance for Influence Rage just to procure some space for themselves.
Here we go, Danny and Leffy, the Slaughters. They are just not afraid about taking those 1-1 trade and also gaining them the advantage back in the game.
Oh, look at this. Influence Rage going to go for the 2 neutral objectives here. We obviously take the Overlord here once again. Means that they're going to have a bit more pressure into these side lanes. Looking at this replay as well.
Well, again, the ulti. I feel like, you know, a lot of players will use this ulti as a retreat. But as for Leffy, it's always going to be attacking.
Oh, great control here around the Tyrant Pit. There is no access here for ROC Esports. Influence Rage do it. They claim both of the neutral objectives. This is going to be a hairy, scary 80 seconds for ROC to keep that base alive.
It's gonna be a little difficult for ROC to seek a really nice setting for Muzi. As you can see, Channel, he's both fully decked out, I guess, right? Yep. Enough money, enough gold goes to this person, but the thing is that he's facing so many threats from a Gudo, from this Owing, from this Dharma. It's really hard for him to do all those safe outputs in the same fight.
Yeah, when you're in that so much danger, it's hard to kind of play in a calm, collective manner, right? And you just saw there with the damage dealt, you see that Wendy's right at the top with 120k damage. That's exactly what's been keeping Influence Rage at bay at this moment in time.
And in this moment, without the flash, can they make it to guard their high ground tower? As you can see, INF is pushing forward in a fierce way.
The beautiful use there of the Wild Growth, just keeping the minions there long enough to get the T3 into the top side of the map here. ROC's base has now opened up. Vanguard's going to be making sure the work happens as that incredible Unbridled Outburst connects onto 4. Influence Rage gets so much more with this one. Defense is now measuring down to the bot side of the map here for ROC.
There's still Vanguards at the bottom. Garuda, ulti in, tried to shred down the HP, tried his best, but what about the Vanguards? Vanguards is keeping really healthy HP bar, so allowing INF to get in. It's going to be Lorian, ulti in, and it's going to be Lop who dash in to people on the road. Rampage Rage goes over to Danny. They're still coming in. They're not going for an end. They're trying to close out the game, actually.
Oh no, the City Safety gets burned off here from Conling as well. Swan, Muchi, Conling down. Influence Rage is doing what the impossible was last year and takes a point from the MKL.
Influence Rage, nice play, continuing to win, and it's going to be so thrilled for them. As you can see, they are cheering now because it's not going to be easy to take a game from teams of MKL. It's not the game, but it's going to be such a great achievement for them, even for one game.
Ooh, I mean, Momo-chan was moaning that it was cold today, but it is heating up here, right? Like, that's crazy. Chuck BR taking MKL in a best of 3, 1 match up. That was no shy of a great match.
Yes, especially like the game is pretty like a one-way game in favor of
really?
Iron. I feel it that way, right? Because we mentioned about the point about ROC, how they're going to execute their play is that they need to keep pushing. But as you can see, all those pushing that they did is all for consolation effort.
I'm gonna see it in a different way.
Okay.
I don't think that it was a one-sided. I do believe that INF played an amazing game, one of the strongest games that we've seen them play in these last 3 days. That's for sure. But at the same time, ROC always had answers to all the things that INF was tossing at them. But at the end, it was just the pressure from the Agudo that I believe turned things around, just because the turrets were falling, the pressure was coming in, but Konglin was trying his very best just to keep everything together.
Yeah, absolutely. You put it perfectly right there. Obviously, just having that kind of like argument with somebody that always has an answer comeback, it's very frustrating after a long time, right? And I mean, this game went quite a distance, not quite the Tempest Dragon. We were around about 2 minutes and 15 seconds away from that point, but Influence Rage knew if they didn't finish it there, it would have been like insurmountable and hard attack.
It needed to be right over there, man. Like, I actually started sweating because the dragon was not coming in, the minion wave was not pushing, and then they start falling out. Like, oh my gosh, it cannot be that you're gonna fall right over here.
Yeah. All the way to 20 minutes in, it's just like, denied. But no, honestly, props has to be given over to not only Leffy, but Fury there as well, right?
Sure.
Like, he was really kind of composing this Lorien to, I would say, Nunu's masterclass. He's really been owning in, watching Nunu.
He has been taking the notes, and that is the most important, just to come in, take the notes, and then just to try to apply it in your own games.
And I can see the trust actually behind those plays, because around first this one, right, that's going to be an ambush, and I just put back. And I want to highlight this one because of the Laffy's play, right?
Yes.
It was a 1-1 trade explosive play. And also I want to point out that actually they gave Danny this Agudo, the red buff, around 10 minutes, which is not usual to see that.
But you see, that's a very interesting thing, right? Because we're always talking about like, oh, Danny and the assassins. But Danny on this Agudo had the best performance we've seen in these last 3 days.
Absolutely. I mean, I want to just like recoin Leffy's play there. He was basically Bruce Willis in Armageddon, right? He was just taking the sacrifice for his team for the greater good of the Chuck BR region, right? He was ready to lay down his life just so they could get this one game onto the board. But it wasn't just that one decision. The early game for Influence Rage was just chef's kiss.
Yeah, I agree, man. I completely agree with you in terms of that. But look at this. Like, the dragon comes in, like, it's like the banger just stops right at the edge. And then that's the moment where you actually feel like, it cannot be.
And Winded, what's going on? The shake-up within KWC. I mean, even these boys are just like, let's go. Like, it's only the first game within a BO5, but it means so much to not only Chuck BR, but those teams watching as well, right? Like, MKL is no longer the kind of like the boogeyman, you know? They are seeing that they are opening the door, they're opening the closet. They are not scared of them anymore.
Well, the whole South America right now, it is with INF, and they're the exact same excited as we are right now, because right now INF with a 1-0 advantage over ROC Esports. They're putting them against a corner, and they might be able to seal their ticket to the upper bracket finals. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go for a little break, and when we come back, we're going to come with the action of game number 2.
booked the Esports World Cup up.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by play.
Welcome back. We're live from Paris, France. This is the Esports World Cup, hosting here the KWC 2026. This is going to be our game number 2 of match number 2. Influence Rage right now with a 1-0 advantage on top of ROC Esports. Well, we saw that for the INF players, it was a very important win. The game finished. They were really excited. What do you think is going through their minds right now?
I mean, I have to come down. I mean, I'm not even playing and I have to come down. So I can imagine the boys on stage are going to be exactly the same, right? Like, they're going to be, right, okay, we got 1 point. Let's keep composed, let's keep calm, and let's see if we can do that again.
And I think that composure is going to be the key for this. Because if you're just really excited about just getting your game number 1 in a best of 3, then your head might not be in the right place. So they need to really take 2 steps back and start taking some deep breaths, Nora.
Yeah, that's so true. But at the same time, I feel like they should be proud of themselves. Because what I see from the game is that a lot of detail moves that I can see that I haven't seen them play before.
Yes.
Like, we know that they're good at killing. I mean, like pushing forward, right? Doing those all team fights. But the thing is that they are pre-setting for the team fight. That I never seen that they did
the whole setup for it, right? Like, because we're always just very sure about the fact that, okay, the INF is going to bring in just fighting, they're going to be throwing punches, but that has always been the area that they've been lacking, not only for INF, but for most of the Chalk BR teams. It has always just been like, how do I really set my fights for success? Not only about throwing punches, but what do I do 3 steps before?
Yeah. It's not looking for the killing blow straight away. It's how can I block the potential killing blow coming to me, right? Rather than just going like right, left, and then bam, you get one in the left gut, you know, and then just fall over. It's kind of like Chalk BR's now, like, okay, I'm keeping my guard up and I'm calculating where I want to go.
All right, but let's just take it to the other side. ROC, a little bit shaky, did not have the best performance in that game number 1, but they're experienced. They know how to turn things around. It's not the first time that they lose their game number 1, so they know exactly what needs to be done.
I feel like the way how they played in game 1 is not about their mechanics, more about their states. I mean, like, I feel like this is their game 1 in EWC this time, right? So I feel like they're not really getting into those play mood or competition mood.
Yes.
So I feel like game 1 to them maybe pretty much like a warm up, but for game 2 they're looking for some aggressive.
We can spotlight a couple moments over there before this in the early game in that game number 1, where they tried to initiate some fights and they actually just lost them. Kong Ling just kind of just roaming through the river, gets caught by Danny right over there. They had answers to that, but they shouldn't have been put in those positions.
Exactly, and I feel like in terms of that, I feel like the awareness matters a lot in this case.
It absolutely does. Awareness, knowing what you're working with, knowing what the capability and the maximum capacity of your draft is, was where Influence Ranger felt like that's where their strengths fell in game number 1. Where we get into game number 2 here, obviously, it's going to be a very emotional, very like decisive game here for them, right? Like, never did we dream within KWC 2026 that MKL would lose their first match or first game within this competition.
That hurt. And I mean, like in that case, ROC just go for the Chicha pick. I think it is a really wise pick. Basically, it can flex a lot, and it just gives me that kind of feeling they are trying to looking for some aggressiveness.
Yeah, I do love the Eren into the Chicha, right? I mean, both of their ultimates kind of very similar. They go in with a big AoE, a lot of burst damage, but obviously over to the side of Influence Rage, it's going to look a little bit more magical. So I do like this one, and I do love the point that you bring up there that the Chicha is a flex pick. Kind of keeps you guessing going into that third and fourth ban, right? Like, that's going to be the scary part here for the side of Influence Rage, but they pick up the Lapu Lapu, trading it for the Zhongfei, which is just being kind of like the tale of KWC within this best of 3 format, right?
So true. Like hundreds of times so far.
You have this pick, I take this one, we swap. At least the sharing, right? At least the sharing. They are good boys. They're all good boys on stage. But the Lorien go to the side of Wendy. I mean, Wendy has always been coined as one of the greatest mid laners within HOK Esports. So to see him here on the Lorien, as well as how Fury navigate this pick, I feel like this is going to be a very interesting matchup here.
Lorien can do great versatile damage in the team fight and also speak to Wendy. Actually, in this MKL spring regular season, Wendy got 12 MVPs in total, which make him to be the second place of those MVP ranking. Yeah,
I mean, he definitely has the valor, right? He has the valor, he has the accolades already built up. I feel like he just needs that moment to shine, right? And maybe this is it with this Lorien. But we always say the way to kind of go for against the Lorien is you go for something like the Xiao Qiao, right? You have that extra poke as well. Use your first skill just to try and outrange him. But then also the most important thing is trying to synergize those knockups.
But with this Xiao Qiao pick and also with this Iron pick, it gives me that feeling that it's kind of be a little bit squishy, right?
Yes.
Because check those 3 heroes that already been picked by ROC, allowing them to do a lot of team fights and also gonna just directly targeting at those backliners. So I would say if INF need to do something to answer to that kind of drops, they really need some hero like Byron on the top or Sun Tzu on the top or Xiao Qiao on the top and just, buy some time for his backliners in the same fight.
Interesting point here. Obviously, we've been seeing a lot of where they kind of need to demand that front line. Like, if you only have one frontline hero, it becomes a very hard team fight to navigate, right? Because if you're before the team fight even happens, if your support gets run down, you kind of say, oh, this is going to be the point where we just reset, go to lanes, and see what we can do. But it's going to be the Baichi here.
Oh, yeah, same feature, actually.
Into the top side for the side of Influence Rage. Definitely going to be able to kind of on the Tempest's suit, right? Like, we saw a lot of the time, Maina as well as Danny were kind of dictating the fights, whereas now it's going to be up to Maina and Tempest, I feel.
Wow. I mean, like, Charlotte for Xuan, I feel like if they pick this Charlotte and also Chicha at the bottom, it's gonna be the double warrior composition. So they're trying to play more aggressive like they did in game 1. And as for INF, because they're picking out this Baichi, right? We know that Baichi can be a great initiator, but the thing is that it's kind of late game to me on the side of INF. But we know that they always want to make a lot of things happen in the early game. Yeah. So is this kind of composition in their comfort zone? Well, they make it to like after like 12 minutes, all right, they already give us the answer with this kill pick and just try to accelerate their pace, right? We're not waiting for those late game. We're just trying to do those things happen around 6 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at it here, right? I mean, worst case scenario, Influence Rage lose this one. But the best case scenario that comes out of that loss is the fact that they burnt out such a good draft here from the side of ROC Esports, right? They don't have to worry about the Lorien. They don't have to worry about the Zhongfei. They can just keep banning out the Guan Yu for Xuan here. They get rid of Charlotte, Chicha, and the Aldrin. It's a very late game comp for the side of ROC Esports, so we're probably going to be seeing that kind of same duration, same length of match here between these two.
And the only difference between these two comp is that ROC, the Charlotte, allowing them to do a lot of push in the mid game. So I would put Xuan on the spotlight in this game too. And also we know that Xuan has played for such a long time and he saved ROC for several times. So well, he succeed this time.
Absolutely. He is one of the golden boys of ROC Esports, but he's having one golden boy enough here for the team to try and take game 2 from Influence Rage. Only time will tell, ladies and gentlemen, but we have to say, we have to prove a point here. Kong Ling is taking a little bit too much damage here. We're trying to hope to linger in that lung bush to go for an invade into the red.
And speak of the invasion, because a lot of all-run player in this patch while trying to steal away those neutral objectives in the early game on the from the other side. So INF is actually predicting that ROC would do that kind of movement, so they're just ambushing in it and did a really nice HP trade. And that's what I said, that INF proved so much in this game.
Leffy gets caught onto the wall there thanks to Cheech's lockdown, but he's still going to stay alive, right? Obviously, there's no real follow-up there. Nobody is level 4 just yet into these side lanes and into mid, so there's no real kind of catastrophic ultimate that should be looking out for just yet. But I feel like if Leffy catches too many of those strays, it could be a problem.
You should just wait for our ring.
There was no real kind of like contest for that neutral point down bot side as well, right? Like we saw game number 1, Influence Rage was able to secure that one away. It looks like that goes over to the side of Influence Rage there, able to just get the last hit onto the space break. Massive focus here, top side of the map. Like you were saying in the draft there, Nora, like they're looking to kind of just make sure that the early game state here is for Xuan, right? Setting up for success, because if not, I feel like the failure of ROC Esports could be riding on that one.
And speaking to the power pack, I would say with this UQ, actually INF can do more burst out damage than ROC in the early game. But ROC, they should just wait for the 4-minute mark because of the Zhangfei pick, right? Allowing them to just push all those opponents away. It's going to be a nice setting for them to do so.
Yeah, I mean, the best opportunity here for Influence Rage is to try and bait out that ultimate from Wave Pit, right? Try and get him down to a low mark before that time. Oh, double knock up there from Lorian. Ulti forcing the flash from Fury. They were really hoping for something there.
That's what we're talking about, right? Wendy, he got so many MVPs in his regular season in this MKL spring. So this time picking out this Lorian, allowing him to do a lot of burst of damage in this case.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, early on, he hurts no matter where the tempo is within this game. Like, as he's building items is going to kind of just scale with the respective scaling of the defense of the enemy team here. But right now, we are still a minute away from that important point you made earlier. They're waiting for that 4-minute mark.
But the thing is that, well, INF to take that 4-minute mark team fight against ROC, or well, they just go for some dragon trade.
Yeah, they might do. They might do. Just secure your own objective, secure your own jungle, and then just like, you know what, we can just try and outlast that 80 seconds, right? Just make sure it's not going to be a domination here. Just keep making sure that your lanes are in check, making sure the priority is not onto the enemy team. Speaking of which, mid lane priority does go over to the side of ROC Esports just this time. But I mean, I think the wave clear for the side of Influence Rage means that even if they do get the priority, it's pretty quickly altered, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the mid lane priority is definitely very important. But I'm looking forward to seeing that, what kind of movement that Danny Well did, because he's the only like pace leader on the side of INF in the early game. If you want to go for that dragon fight, he will call out for Tempest. And it seems like they want to do so. They are not seeking for a dragon trade, they just want to compete it head-to-head.
Potentially trying to get the lockdown here. It's going to be Tempest from the Unbridled Outburst. That's not going to be the position there that Influence Rage really were looking for. And down goes Tempest as well. That's a double kill going over to Conlink on the Ogre and the raid boss himself. The only good takeaway there is the fact that Leffy was able to keep a hold of that Azure Golden.
I mean, like ROC, they are very confident about their power pack around the 4-minute mark, as we just mentioned, right? Because they know that it is very committed for them to do so. But the thing is that as the positioning, it was Tempest trying to flash in, use the ulti, get the control. But with the ulti from this Zhangfei, just totally turned the table around.
Blue team.
Definitely not what you wanted pre-4 minutes, right? Just as that started to activate there, they've lost a lot of health for the T1 turret top side of the map. The T1 into the mid lane is already gone, so game state is already switched up here for the side of Influence Rage. We know that Fury cannot be sticking around in that mid lane, or else he's going to be a prime target for a free kill pickup here.
And now they're targeting on this Lorian. It's gonna be an insta-kill. Nice try from Tempest. I mean, like, Tempest is really proactive today.
Very proactive, absolutely. He's had his morning cereal, clearly, and his morning coffee, but I have to give props, though. Obviously, ROC are like, okay, you got the kill, but we got something a little bit more important. We're still opening up the map of Influence Rage.
I mean, the game is still in advantage of ROC since it's already got 2 kills and another skirmish is happening in the mid. If you want to take my Lorian down, you're gonna pay with your life.
Yep, just burning out this Tempest here. They're like, you know what? Yeah, you can go for the Baichi, right? Obviously, we saw Isaac's expression onto the Baichi pick. Not quite the favorable one we were looking for here, but definitely a true tell.
Shot.
Yeah,
Flash.
Fury is looking very low.
It's gonna be a flash trade. As you can see, Shen already level 9. He can do a lot of things. A lot of potential play actually can be seen or expect from Shen in this game too.
Yeah, he's definitely looking to be the playmaker, right? But I mean, you have to give over props to Conling. He's 3-0. Obviously, on an Orgrin, that's definitely the early game you really want to be having here with this pick. Some teams generally fail when it comes to the Orgrin, thinking it's going to be a free cash win there, but it's not going to be just so much here. We are seeing Conling into the backline once again. Danny's going for a 1-for-1 here. Wendy does get taken down, however, but Moochie comes through with the burst potential, but it's going to be a 3-1 trade. Influence Rage was like, okay, you're entering at our home. We are going to punish you.
I mean, like, INF, they are really... They're polishing their mechanics about doing team fights. I'm like, just highlight this one. Check Xiao Xiao, right? This Fury. Even though she died, but she unleashed his skill too and got control of several people and allowing his team fight to fight back.
I mean, kind of, you saw there, Moochie was kind of trapped in the pit of the Red Golem, right? So he had to use the flash. So a little bit of a bittersweet farewell there for the team of ROC Esports in that last team fight. But Danny here, you don't want to get caught out in the early part of the team fight. Mayna is looking for a bit of a flank here into the back line. We do see some parkour here from Danny, but it's going to be enough to get him out of this one. Moochie gets taken down, but it's going to be for the trade of Danny. Can they get a little bit more? Health bars onto the side of ROC Esports are looking a little bit too full here for my liking. Double kill once again. Triple for the side of ROC Esports.
It's a possible play for ROC. It was incredible. I mean, like, everything just went so chaotic after they're just trying to chasing that Fury down because Fury is kind of lost in that kind of positioning and just open the window for ROC to make that team fight happen. And because of Conley, he already got 6 kills in his hand, right? Yeah. Just check the highlight. First Tempest, again, nice control, but just check Conley's position. He's so safe. Like, no more burst of damage can be seen, or like damage can be seen upon this Conley. So he just break out his ulti and got enough HP restore, and then just chasing down all of those opponents that he can see.
Yeah, like you can see that Tempest is just trying to basically soak as much damage as possible from Wendy, obviously trying to block those orbs, as you saw there within that team fight. It was literally just kind of like attracted to him. He was like, they had magnets in their pockets, they were stuck together in the backside. So like you said, Conling was not going to be at the behest of any real big damage anytime soon.
The way that how you're gonna deal with those Orgrin in game is that you need to use burst out damage to take him down as soon as possible.
And right now, I don't think Influence Rage has enough burst just yet. Obviously, Leffy is still looking for some more kills, looking for a little bit more gold to go in his favor. And the fact is that overall, the gold leads shifted over to ROC Esports. Means that there's going to be some real deficits in terms of itemization for Influence Rage.
I mean, 4,000 gold advantage, allowing ROC to play in a more bold way. As you can see, Lorian.
He uses the Radiance, he slows him down, forcing the flash. Actually, no, Mayna still has his flash. He's going to use that ultimate for a retreat mechanic here for the side of Influence Rage, but it's just going to be too much damage. Conling leads the charge, but it's all just for that T2 into the mid lane here.
because of the gold advantage that they have, so you can see like Whippet, he's playing in a quite fierce way, and also Wendy, the pre-poking was really nice because he just take Tempest into a really, really low HP bar and just shred down the only initiation that we can see on the side of I now.
Yeah, the fact is they're still obviously the 10-minute mark, but they've still got 30 seconds or so still on that pre-10-minute tyrant there. It means I feel like this is going to be a very hard situation for Influence Rage to even try and intercept the takedown here. It's going to take a miracle to get that steal.
It's spirit magic.
So how they're gonna make that miracle happen? It's gonna be Tempest first dashing in, but the thing is that no mobile cell damage coming up against him, and it's gonna be Colleen again breaking out his ulti, being legendary, and Reffy found a really nice ball take Shen down first, and he's just chasing in.
Yeah, trading clash for clash, and the tyrant is pretty low here, but one wrong move. We see the come through there for the Unbridled Outburst. Is it enough to drive away the side of Influence Rage? But no, ROC Esports punishes them. They get them fish in the net.
Leffy with a red buff, can he make it? He's trying to do some poking damage. Mayna sacrifice himself and trying to do it for Leffy, but Leffy being the only one survive, need to retreat as soon as possible.
Yeah, you don't want to get caught here between Muchi and...
It's not the way home! It's not the way home!
It's the homing missile there from the Chicha is going to be enough to get the takedown here for the side of ROC Esports. Really putting that death spawn timer here in a disadvantage for Influence Rage.
But this dragon is so crucial to this team fight because like it seems to get to a pulse around Tempest. Everyone's just waiting for this dragon and waiting for the man to claim the dragon. It's going to be Mutsu, and he survived till the last and doing whatever he can do with this Chicha play in late game.
Yeah, he can't do pretty much whatever with Danny went once again down. He was pretty much just out of the base, and now he's back at the spawn timer now. So he's definitely not going to be influencing any kind of play here for the side of Influence Rage right now. 12-minute mark onto the board. That gold lead is just too far away, I feel.
Yeah, it's kind of significant right now, 5,000 or even up to 6,000 gold lead, allowing those double warrior composition on the side of ROC to push even in a more furious way.
Very furious here, happening for the side of ROC Esports. They're able to get the takedown T3 into the mid lane, looking to replicate that damage into top side of the map here as well. All members of Influence Rage are still alive, but they aren't quite confident with that minion wave they currently have for the side of ROC. They're looking to gain help from the Shadow Overlord.
Waiting for the Vanguard spawning, helping them to push, because once you got double warriors, you really relied a lot on your minions helping you to take all those towers down.
Yeah, game state here for the side of Influence Rage. It's not looking too good. They don't even have a single T1 takedown onto the side of ROC Esports. Their base is still all propped up with the beams. That is those turrets. Vanguard gets placed bot side of the map. They were trying to create some kind of space here for themselves on red side, but now it feels like you're just an impending doom. You are in the waiting room here, and the doctor is ROC Esports, pushing you away with the Unbridled Outburst, just making sure, creating space for the Vanguard bot side of the map here. Gets get taken down as well. There is nothing standing between themselves and the Crystal other than the 5 members of Influence Rage.
I mean, like, trace happening right now, and Lapu, skill 2, getting in, but Chicha again breaking out his ulti. He's dashing in like a true warrior. Nice crowd control, and double kill goes over to Colleen. It's Venus in the Crystal, and right now game 2 goes over to ROC.
ROC with a better performance in that one, but I do want to go back to my point that I was making. Maybe, just maybe, Influence Rage was like, you know what? Because me and you, Nora, we weren't too impressed by that draft, right? Maybe it's just the long game they are playing here. Maybe they're just like, okay, we see the ROC's potential here with that draft is very deadly. Let's see if we can win with what we have. If not, we just go for game 3.
No, exactly. I think that the biggest problem in here is that the Bitesy pick is an interesting pick, not for a best of 3. Yeah. That is the issue. It's a best of 3. You need to be a little bit more aggressive into the early and the mid game. But the Bitesy is such a late game hero, and then it just like starts falling again and again and again. Like there's a moment in the 4-minute mark where he tries to initiate right over there in the mid lane, and he does not have the damage. He does not have like anyone around him that can actually win that fight.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at obviously the highlights and stuff like that. You see Tempest is like we pointed out in one of that team fights down to the bot side of the map is that he was just constantly attracted to Wendy. He was just trying to mitigate any damage onto more frontline, onto Danny, just to keep himself alive with that one. So we'll see what happens here, obviously in the replay, but a bit of a recap right now is going to be seeing this a post-game breakdown.
And as you can see from the KDA, Konglin is just being unstoppable.
Yes.
11-1-2. That's too much, actually. 11 kills in one game.
Konglin is the answer. That's very simple. ROC, if they want to actually move forward in this game number 3, they're gonna have to just pass the ball to Konglin.
Exactly.
Give the ball to Konglin, put him into this kind of heroes, and he's going to carry the whole team. Because even in game number 1, Konglin had an amazing performance. So, comes into game 2, continues with his amazing shape, and he shows us that with that KDA, like, he is the man to carry the game.
And speaking of that, I'm looking for a potential pay play.
Okay.
For Konglin, because if
Sure.
you want to lead the pace and he want to outplay Danny in the early game, I mean,
Yes.
Pei is gonna be a open choice for both junglers.
And INF don't have Yukio Tachiwana already.
Exactly.
So that's already like, with a pay pick over here from ROC, how do you answer back to that?
I don't think either of them go for it, right? I feel like it's still going to be in that ban phase, the top 2 picks before anything
has
comes
to.
through here. Absolutely. Or you're just giving up a free game like Nora was alluding to there. But you're looking at, obviously, once again, the replays. You see Wendy's always just trying to man-check Fury, man-check Leffy, and then by the time Tempest is like, right, guys, I'm going to try and keep him away from you, but it's just not possible. You just don't have any damage there. You're just delaying the inevitable.
And because of the positioning, right, it's kind of chaotic in this place. And also speaking to the 10 minutes dragon, it's very interesting that everyone just stood in a pause from now on, just waiting for the dragon, but no one wants to lose control of the dragon. And finally, after moves to clean, that is going to be a one-way game on the side of ROC.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be the potential comeback, right? Obviously, that Tyrant fight, the Shadow Tyrant fight, was looking very clutch. Both teams were able to get it down to a comfortable health bar. It was positioned so beautifully that it was just almost too good to be true for Influence Rage.
Well, 1-1 right now. Everything is back as it was at the beginning of this match. We're going to go for a break, and when we come back, it's going to be the decider to see who's going to move into the upper bracket final.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by play.
Welcome back. 1-1 is the score right now. INF in front of ROC. We're going to go into game 3. That is going to be the decider for this matchup. We said that Konglin is the one that needs to have the ball over there for ROC. In front of them, INF, the ball needs to go to Leffy.
I think it either goes to need to go to Leffy or Danny. I feel like the matchup here for me is so much centric into that jungle, right?
All right.
We saw obviously the leader of the pack. We saw Agudo into game number 1, and that was the clear direction that I feel like Influence Rage needed and lacked in game number 2.
I mean, like potential play can be seen of this pay, right?
Yeah.
So the team on the red side in game 3 might just ban this pay away. And speaking to Leffy, if you're talking about Leffy being the hero, I would say Arlie with the idea at the bottom will be the best choice for them to pick in game 3.
Arlie and the idea over
Yes.
there, that would be a nice matchup in there. Like if we can have that combo in there, like the early game, that the laning stage is going to be for them for sure.
Absolutely, and the fact is, like we were alluding to, obviously the pay pick and the fact that Yukio's gone. But if they go for the Diadea and the Arlie, the Xiao Chao's gone, which is obviously a good counter down to there. To obviously, if you're waiting for Arlie to call back to her umbrella or a parasol, get the knockup, and it's a hard way to actually try and navigate that team fight. So maybe it's a 4D chess game that we've been seeing here between these two teams. ROC Esports will just limit testing in game number 1, like Nora was saying.
Right now, the players are already set on stage, waiting for this game number 3 to start. Right now, the nerves gotta be at the highest. If you win, you stay here, and then you wait to play against Aurora Gaming later on this afternoon. If you lose, you need to head back to the hotel and start practicing. I know that whoever that loses this match is not going to have the day off today.
No. They've got the work cut out for them, right?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
You're at ROC. You're at the 3rd level right now. You're skipping 2nd, you're going straight to 1st, right, against Aurora Gaming. That's quite a feat here. And not only that, the fact is you've gone through already quite a... not a very well-paced game. You're playing, you're pushing your limits to see if you can actually just beat that 3rd place in the MKL.
And there's a saying that the more games you play, actually you just expose more techniques that you have. Especially we are still in group stage, right? But this is game 3. It's gonna be the most deciding point. I mean, like on the side of ROC, because they're from MKL region, so definitely people are expecting a really high skill from them, right?
Yeah.
And game 1 is a little bit disappointed, to be honest, right? They are still warming up, but game 2, they get great performance, and that's kind of just pressing in on INF because we can see like how excited they were when they just got game 1.
Absolutely. But I mean, this is the answer to your question you was posing earlier, Nora, right? Maybe the pay comes through.
Not available.
Exactly. We see the Influence Rage is like, you're not going to have an early game 1. You're not going to have the pay either. And they are taking out the lung here as well. So I feel like it is opening up that prospect you was talking about earlier. The Arlie
right?
and the Diadea.
Yeah.
Because you're taking away kind of like the natural the counter already, right?
Exactly. So I feel like this is a potential Arlie play on the side of INF, especially there on the blue side where Arlie is open choice and they're banning this out and wait, trying to build a really nice laning phase if they want to go for the this Arlie pick.
Ooh, but the problem is, like, if we take Arlie, Xuan gets Guan Yu.
Oh.
Because Guan Yu's not been banned. So that is a scary potential here. Obviously, they don't have the Lapu, they don't have the Zhongfei to pair with the Guan Yu. So they'll be looking for something else to make a difference here. But the Flowbun tank being prio ban on the blue side is...
interesting.
I wouldn't do it if it was me, but I'm on the caster desk, they're on the stage. There's clearly a little bit of a method to the madness here.
But it's very interesting to pick out this Flowbone tank because it's kind of well-rounded because of its tankiness, but we are talking about those outplay between those jungles, right? That really matters. But after all, it's only a tank. How you're gonna lead the pace by using the Flowborn tank, right?
Yes, it's gonna be hard. And the fact is that they actually didn't take the bait here. I mean, to be honest, they could have gone for Arlie and it would have still made sense because we saw the matchup yesterday where Flowball tank went against Arnie and Arlie just shredded as long as Arlie gets that early game lead and that power spike when she needs it. But they're gonna go for the Haya. So Haya doesn't get banned. Haya's job is to take the tank out of the team fight. You're playing at a handicap there. Your front line's already looking a little bit messy, but they're gonna go for a little bit more of a anti-tank farm into the bot side, the Diranger, and then also the Annette as well.
Well, Annette with Flowborn tank can be really strong when they're doing those team fight, and also because of the Diranger, I kind of feel like they are trying to highlight their bottom at the same. And also Diranger, the skill 2, Purifying Haya's ulti. Those all 3 heroes are kind of being the answer towards this Haya.
Very interesting. Like, to me, this seems like an alternate reality version of like the Kaiser and Sunbin combo we used to see, right? Like, you see that Annette's able to speed up the side of Influence Rage, but also when that Tremor Smash comes through here for ROC, you have that cleanse. So really, Leffy here with the DRNG can use that cleanse to just get out of some kind of ultimate here as well, especially if he happens to be the target for Haya. Use the cleanse, get out of that one, you're not going to take it to the Moonskin Mirage.
And if they want to complete this kind of composition to play against this Haya, then Byron is open for INF. So I'm wondering whether ROC is going to take this Byron away or just leave it as an open choice, because we've seen how proactive that Tempest is, and also what he can do in the early game, and Byron definitely going to be the hero for him in Game 3.
Yeah, taking away the Florentino here. We haven't quite seen Chuan on this pick just yet. We saw obviously Siang for Aurora Game and pick it up and get the first win within KWC here as well. So giving it over to another MKL Clash Lane Titan. You don't really want to be seeing that if this is your third game in a BO3, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully, maybe they're going to take off the Byron here for the side of ROC because they've already used it before. Because really, they don't want a second front line here. Actually, they are maybe potentially trying to be like, you know what, take it. Let's see what we can do with it.
And if they try, they leave it as an open choice, then I think Fatigue will be a possible play on the side of Shen and also Guan Yu.
Yeah, Guan Yu
can be such a great threat to this DRNG.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you've only got one cleanse. He's got so many pokes, prods, and shoves, right? Like, it kind of just makes him a little bit of a wasted pick here. You kind of got to try and protect him. But it's going to be the Lu Bu
I mean, it's
ban.
not usual to see Lu Bu on the ban pick base, especially we're doing best of 3, especially we're talking about Fatigue is open, Guan Yu is open. I know that the way maybe they're letting this Guan Yu outside is because they thought like Flowborn Tank can be a great counter-attack towards this Guan Yu. But the thing is, it is playing the Guan Yu. It's kind of like a different.
You're kind of poking the bear at this point when it's ROC Esports. It's like, you got your Guan Yu, we're not going to ban it. But we see, obviously, the idea behind the Lu Bu
it's for Byron,
right?
Actually.
Obviously, it's
for Byron.
For Byron, for any kind of tank, right? Because he's able to shred through. Like, that's probably a good call here. They keep the Byron open. They know for the fact that ROC don't have any more bans, and they're just waiting at this moment in time. It's like, you know what? I think it's potential we go for the Byron, they go for the Dashi as well.
Dachao, I'm looking forward to seeing this hero for such a long time because I'm a big fan of Dachao Yuan sorry, Flowborn Tank duel. Sorry about my Chinese. I mean, like, this duel, it can be so versatile in game, right? And it's just showcasing your understanding towards the map.
Yeah, well, let's see if they can actually get that macro onto the board here as well, right? Is it the Dachao going to be into the mid lane here as well? There is a lot of slows you can really do here for the Guan Yu as well, right? Obviously, using the Leaping Koi Tides makes it a little bit more harder for him to actually be composed into those team fights, but only time will tell. But the way the Influence Rage played that game number 1, I have faith. I have really big faith here for this team.
For ROC? For Influence Rage this time. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't even know what to say. You know, like it. I do like the composition that they select for both teams. I mean, like, it's really interesting to see all those counter-attacking happening. And also this Dachao Flowborn Tank duel in-game, because it's just showing their understanding towards the patch and also allowing them to do a lot of team fight with his sustainability. And with this Guan Yu pick, potential what? Coming out from ROC. But which potential will let them to get the only victory for Game 3?
Exactly. I mean, you're playing it at the best of 1 kind of format right now, right? Obviously, either of these teams, that's it. Yeah, it's defining your upper bracket rise, or you're going to fall down to the lower bracket to have to climb back up and potentially meet ROC once again, you know, because obviously they could potentially lose against Aurora Game a bit later on today, but I am very interested to see how they get all these moving parts onto the Gorge, because like you were saying, it's not easy, but we've seen Influence Rage actually be quite calculated within this best of 3.
And I mean, like, there's one thing that I can assure you guys who's watching the live show right now, that in Game 3, if you're a fan of big team fight, it's gonna be the game for you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Using the Dachao here to kind of just take him back to base, bring him back, and then see if he can get that compounding effect back onto the team fight here as well. But so far, I feel like it's just going to be a big tit-for-tat kind of early game. No one's really going to want to put their foot forward unless it's their worst foot and they get tripped over, and then that's where the mistakes start to happen.
Well, it's gonna happen after Wendy upgrade to level 4, and it seems like 2 minions wave is gonna be enough for them to do it. But, well, it's gonna be a chaotic game 3.
Yeah,
I've
nice
got
space check.
kind of feeling.
Nice space check into the lung bush there as well. They weren't quite... They was expecting Danny to be there. Obviously having to use the recall there for the Dutch Owl just to keep himself propped and primed and proper into this mid-side map here. We do see that Schwan is making a big rotation here as well. They do try and go for the pigs onto the side of Influence Rage. I believe they were able to actually get that point away from them as well.
I must keep my posture.
Once again, just seeing that patience from both of these two teams down to the bot side, but a bit of a different story. Top in the mid here.
Level 4.
He gets taken to the Mirage as well. He gets the knock-up, but is he going to be able to survive his exit out of this one? Everyone's going to be waiting for him there, and boom! Wendy with the first blood.
First blood, here we go. We talk about the timing, right? They're using those timing precisely. That's what we're talking about, and it's only gonna be the start of the pace in game 3.
Yeah, I mean, like when you get taken into the Moonskin Mirage, the first problem is surviving inside it, but then the secondary problem, probably the worst problem, is you're waiting for your enemy team to be surrounded you for your recall back there.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing would be is if we can try and see that the recall from Da Chao being placed down to see if we can save him. But I feel like it's a very macro kind of play that it has to be like pixel perfect almost.
Yeah, because you need to take the teleportation, standing there for like several seconds and allowing you to be recalled back. So that's gonna be the timing. Like the mechanics matters a lot in this game.
Yes, absolutely. Mechanics is the aim of the game here as well. Schwan just seems to be having a very happy time. Top side of the map, he has his top pick. He's on the Guan Yu, and he's able to just roam freely, right? It feels like the Tempest has kind of like not only the job to win the lane, but he has to keep Guan Yu in check as well.
Exactly. Tempest needs to keep his eye wide open on Shen in this game 3 because they really rely a lot on the tankiness from Danny to gain more vision control for them, or just, you know, rotate a bit, maybe let Baron to gain the vision control. Either way, well worked out. But for this dragon, it seems like ROC, they already take a really insta gank on this dragon and allowing them to do a lot of things.
Yeah, the dragon gets taken down here. Tyrant's first time going over to the side of ROC Esports this time around. And when you're behind around about 1.6k gold and you have the Tyrant in your favor, it's just going to sharpen that blade. The damage coming through here for the extended 70 seconds for the side of ROC means they get to play a little bit more with their food here. A good 3-man Tremor Smash being connected there for the side of ROC Esports. Wave Pit is just going to be the charging round, the Trojan horse for the side of ROC.
Ooh. Flash being forced out.
Onto the side of Maina there, and the Flash as well. That's going to put you in a scary situation for the next 2 minutes or so before that comes back onto cooldown. And it means that Influence Range, yes, obviously they're putting pressure down to the bot side of the map. Tempest is trying to make a good work out of a bad situation right now.
I do like the way how ROC is microing this game, right? Because you can see the positioning of Shen. He's not really coming in. He just gives the sense of threatening towards IF and allowing Kunling to do a lot of like monster stuff, and also just check the gold difference between those junglers, right?
Yes.
Kunling already got like 1,000 gold lead against Danny, which is massive in those early game stage.
And I think that's just aided and abetted by the lack of mobility for Danny on this pick, but also the fact is that you have the increased mobility, the increased burst damage here from something like the Ukiyo Tachibana as well, right? And for me, I love how ROC is playing this game. They weren't able to get the T1 down bot side, so they're like, all right, bet, let's go for the Crimson Golems, make sure we get something here as well. But they are picking up some kills on the side of Influence Rage here, but it may be at the cost of the T1 top side of the map here as well. Waypick comes in with a burst ram, with a magma slam. He comes in with a tremor smash. Conlin picks off Fury. The Mirage has been placed for Danny once again. We are going to be waiting in the wing here for Conlin to come out and get the kill. He comes back here. The Spectator missed that one, but it is going to be the claim for ROC.
ROC is well prepared for that coming out, and also Conlin 102 KD. I feel like almost all those goal difference that ROC has is on this man.
Yes, I mean, that's all we need to do. Like, we were talking about this in pregame, right? It's down to Conling, it's down to Danny, and as soon as that Flowborn tank came out, I was like, it's not the answer we wanted, but is it the answer we're going to get? Is it going to actually get them the victory here? It's already a little bit hard to say for the side of Influence Rage. Bit of a tip for tap, just trying to make sure they defend that Crimson Golem, right? But they lose so much more. They lose a T1 into the mid lane. It's not looking too good here for Influence Rage at this game state at around about 7-minute mark.
Because here's the thing, if you want to use this Flowborn tank and Da Chao well, you really need to preset Da Chao's skill 2 and allowing this Flowborn tank to get back to your fountain and get back again. But seeing the timing, Limbo is just knocking in and personal damage is enough to take Danny down.
It's just CC after CC here for the side of ROC Esports. Leffy is left alone on the run and gets taken down. That is going to be a team ace here for the side of ROC as they look to open the map them once more, but the composer himself, Xuan, is awake and he's on the gorge.
Xuan using his most signature hero, like he's being thirsty. Like after this Danny has been taken down, check his positioning, right? Waiting for a second. It's all about the pace, the rhythm, and getting in skill 1. 3 people be controlled and allowing Colin to grab that double kill.
Yeah, it's
beautiful
like,
combo.
He's like, so what you've got in the net? We're gonna just wait till we see Waypit burn out that ultimate of a net, and then that's just the green light that the side of ROC needed, right? Like they were already ahead in terms of the goal. They had the minion priority as well. It was just the right moment, and that was it.
And I mean, like 3,000 goal lead on advantage of Conlin. Like this man, this Yukio can do so much damage that he can.
Yeah, exactly. He can just go into the back line, burst the heck out of you, and then that's it. You was there one moment, you're gone the next, unfortunately, here. And I feel like it's a little bit late for Leffy to be building the Doomsday here as well, right? Obviously, we needed that just a little bit early on before these team fights started taking place and start having a massive impact in this game number 3.
But once you are playing this Da Chao, you can always go to your plan B, which is pushing your laning. But the thing is that because they are going for like double tanky hero, so it's gonna be a little bit hard for them to do so. Maybe Da Chao would be the only person to do this flat push, which is kind of squishy when she just encounter with this Guan Yu or this Yukio.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of very difficult to do that when you are behind already, right? Like, you do obviously have the High of the Whirlpool to send you, teleport you around the map, but the problem is you're going to get caught out before. You've got so much CC here. Guan Yu into the backline here, just trying to just keep pressure onto Tempest, and we mentioned in moments ago that Da Chao, the only thing that we could really be looking for here in terms of a split push, gets taken off the side here, the side of ROC Esports. Danny looking pretty low as well. Highest first skill is hurting, poking the side of Influence Rage.
I mean, like, it seems like they're trying to close out the game because the minion has already been sent in and Limbo is ready.
He's very ready.
Just getting in.
It's going to be the quickest game of the series. If that's the case, it's almost 3-10 minutes. Danny has to feed himself just to keep the crystal alive. But unfortunately, we have 3 minion waves here. Down to the bot side, it's going to be the earliest arrival right now. Can the side of Influence Rage keep them alive? But the answer is no. ROC rise in this best of 3.
2-1 win. It seems like they faced a little bit of trouble them at the beginning of this matchup, but they quickly pulled themselves together, showing their synergy, showing their coordination, showing their pure mechanics. Just check game 3, right? The understanding towards the patch, not only towards the patch, but also this duel that their opponents selected.
And you can see them right over there just shaking hands, just showing to each other the respect that they need to have, because this was an amazing, very leveled game, right?
Yes.
Like, I would dare to say that a couple years ago, this would have been a clean, quick 2-0. But this year, it was actually a lot more competitive. ROC Esports is going to move into the Group B upper bracket final. They're going to be playing against Aurora Gaming.
Yes, it's going to be pretty much like an MKL matchup again, once again, right, obviously, but I feel like going into that one, maybe ROC doesn't quite have the confidence that Aurora Gaming had, right? Aurora Gaming's match, very clean, very quick, whereas ROC was kind of like, it took a while, but they got there. And I feel like if I was either of those two teams, Aurora Gaming would be where I want to be.
But I mean, like, because of the familiarity that they had, right? So it's going to be a great game to see these two teams like, play against each other.
One of the things that made ROC so dominant in this game was just the way that they just forced INF into making decisions. You want to protect your turret? All right, I'm going to jump into your jungle. You want to protect your jungle? Okay, I'm going to take your turret. So it was just INF just very passive, just trying to react to all of the different curveballs that ROC was tossing at them.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I have to give props to obviously Chuck BR again. Like you were saying, as we came out of that game, this may have not been an outcome literally a year ago if we thought about it, right?
Yeah.
But the fact is, these teams are leveling up at a pace that is very commendable. And I think Influence Rage just need to go back into that lower bracket just to gain that confidence back in themselves and ride that lower bracket.
They had some very good moments in Game 1 and in Game 2. In Game 3, what I believe is that the Tat Xiao and then the Flowborn tank, it is a composition that you need to be a lot in sync. Like you need to be able to understand those timings, and since the minute 2 when Danny falls, then he just kind of just tosses away everything that they had planned.
I totally agree with you. I mean, like, the synergy is really important when you're playing this kind of pair. So I feel like they need more practice about this game. But like, potential can be seen from this kind of composition.
I think that's all that matters at the end of the day, right? Obviously, this is a double elimination. If you've got potential in the upper bracket, it just means you have to just analyze that last series that you had. Analyze what worked well, what didn't work so well. And I feel like that Game 1 draft was definitely their top form.
I think,
but there's just that prio pick for Flowborn Tank in Game number 3, right? Like, this is your upper bracket life.
Yeah.
I don't quite understand that one. Maybe it's just limit test and see what Rock does when they meet them potentially in the lower bracket.
And I mean, like, speak of the potential play, I mean, just neglect this Flowborn tank. I would just give one thing to RNF, that forget that Baichi pick. I mean, like, they already lost 2 games about that Baichi, because I know the reason why they're picking out that hero is because they're looking for those initiation. But the thing is, Baichi is quite like a mid-late game hero. So I mean, like, if they want to make comebacks from the lower bracket, maybe more aggressiveness is what they want.
Maybe what we need to do is just to keep that Baichi over there in check all the way until best of 7s.
Yeah. Just leave him and just like, no, just don't pick him.
It's not the time for Baichi.
Exactly.
I mean, best of 7, it's going to be the time for Baichi to shine.
Exactly. It's only a best of 3. But we're going to see in this, obviously, highlights here. The fact is that they tried to bring out components that was going to try and just hinder the bleeding here from the Xuan on the Guan Yu, right? It was like hoping that all these little mini components would stop his impact. But unfortunately, it just wasn't even enough.
I mean, like, Xuan is definitely an artist about how to pilot in this Guan Yu. He's been riding this horse for over like 7 years, I guess.
It is his main hero, right? So when you're in the BP and ROC is not choosing the clash, he's not choosing the clash, not choosing.